sale. This is where I talk about multiple stories during the live stream. Thank you for joining me. Hope you all are well. Happy March. Let's get down to business, everybody. WATE News is the source for my first commentary. Thank you so much. Let me get a little situated here. Hold on 1 second. I need to move over a bit. Okay, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get started with this young lady by the name of Trinity Clark, African-American female, who has gotten herself in a pickle with law enforcement pertaining to an accident that transpired a while ago of drag racing with another African-American male, where one man perished in the wreck and some children were injured. Now she's been rearrested for driving down the wrong street over at the University of Tennessee campus. Let's hear what the news has to say about this new arrest. Thank you for joining me. Well, brief commercial. Sorry about that. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you all are well. Trying to get situated here. Okay, hold on. Okay. Well, it's not playing for some reason. Hold on 1 second, everybody.
Into a deadly drag race in East Knoxville that killed one man and injured two children last year. According to court records, 22-year-old Trinity Clark is facing a new charge for driving the wrong way on a one-way street with her license suspended. She is already facing 3 counts of vehicular homicide, 6 counts of drag racing, and 3 counts of aggravated assault. As we've reported, Clark and another driver, Trayshawn Glass, are accused of drag racing on Magnolia Avenue on January 17, 2023. Incident reports show Clark and Glass ran a red light, crashed into another vehicle, killing 65-year-old Michael Williams and critically injuring a 5 and 11-year-old. Clark is scheduled to be arraigned in court this Friday.
All right. This was uploaded a few days ago, this content. Trinity Clark. She won a settlement from the city of Knoxville for allegedly being manhandled by an officer. Allegedly, he said he tried to stop her. She wouldn't stop, so he approached her at a residence where she was staying. And it played out on a video, on a body cam. Feel free to check out that content. I'm sure it's in the YouTube queue. But what's interesting is this. She won a settlement. He was found guilty of, strong arming her. But the flip side is you start to wonder what's the truth to that story, although it's on video, of course, but about her evading him, not stopping when he's, trying to make her stop, if that's true or not. So one would say you already had this altercation with a police officer. Why would you then drag race down a public street? For what reason would you drag race? An elderly man was unalive from the car wreck. Children were injured. And then now, a year later, you are rearrested for driving down the wrong way. So one would have to wonder, what is the problem? What is the actual problem with this chick? Because like I said, incident with the police, get a settlement from the city, drag race down Magnolia Avenue, a main drag that's in East Knoxville. People walking, crossing the street, getting on and off buses, a lot of traffic. What will possess you and this male to drag race? It's very irresponsible on both parties. But to me, it seems she doesn't really care about anything. That's my perception of her. She doesn't care about herself. She doesn't care about others. And one thing we've learned about people when we see them making breaking news, when they do just outlandish type behavior, that shows they don't care about themselves. So if they don't care about themselves, they're not going to care about somebody else. I was curious if she had children. I hadn't heard if she had children. I don't go around asking, but I'm wondering if she has children because this is somebody that definitely doesn't need to be a parent. Because if you're this type of person to drag race, you unalive a man, injure some kids, could have killed some other people, could have killed yourself. You and that guy both could have ended up dead, but you didn't. Then a year later, you're driving down one way. For what reason? You want to take a shortcut? So what, were you hanging out on the strip with the young people, trying to have some fun? You're the last person that need to be out trying to have any damn fun because you haven't gone to trial for unaliving that man. And look at all the counts that he just read in this news broadcast. That's a lot of counts. Well, at least 3 counts of vehicular homicide. Now, one person passed away, but 3 charges. That's not including the other charges. There's no empathy. There's no empathy for life. And you can see this with her behavior. You're already got this big trial that's going to come up eventually. You should want to keep your nose clean. You should want to be out here working, going to school, doing something to show these people when you go to court, 12 members of a jury, unless you take a plea, that I have changed. My attitude is different. My disposition is different. That's how I see it. As for the other little fella, I don't know what he's got going on or if he's been in trouble since the drag racing incident, but I believe he's also to show up in court the same day that she's to go to court. It's sad. And then one article said revoke license. And then one article said suspended. So I thought, well, it can't be both. So I'm assuming after the incident with the older man being unalive and the children injured, they would have revoked her license if indeed she had a license. So I don't really know which one is which. Suspended, revoked. My thing is this. She don't need no license. And I think she's been ordered not to drive. A good luck with that. She'll be driving. Just like she was driving on the wrong way, she'll be driving yesterday and today. Trinity Clark, Knoxville, Tennessee. Latest news, everybody. All right, let's get down to some more business. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you all are well. What I got, 12 people viewing. It's better than nothing. These glasses are not. We're not working out right now. All right, everybody. Let's get to the next story. Okay. I got 4 hot topics for you guys during this live stream. So we're going to try to chop them up. We're going to talk about this abortion pill business going on. Guess it would be considered the morning after pill. I took some notes. Hold on one second about it. I'm not going to do a winded conversation, but topic number 2. CVS and Walgreens this month will be distributing this mifepristone, I think I'm pronouncing it right, starts with an M, mifepristone. CVS and Walgreens will distribute this pill. I can't get my words out. To the states that allow this morning after pill to take place. Hello, Pinto. Excuse me, I'm a little bit off. Trying to get my bearings. Forgive me. It's just, I don't know. Me doing the lives where I'm showing myself, I'm just not up for it. So excuse me if I seem a little bit off center. It's just I like being behind the camera and just read my content, and I can get through the information than having to look down and then look in the camera and all of that. So excuse me, I seem a bit off-putting. CVS Walgreens, starting this month, will have this, what will be considered, I guess, the morning after pill for the states who are allowing it. So I don't know the states that have the abortion rights, because you saw that Roe versus Wade was overturned, which I'm very stunned that it was overturned. And I'm going to do another video about Roe versus Wade. Hello, Lolo. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to do a video about that. We're going to talk about that subject again. How do you all feel about the overturning of Roe versus Wade? It was around a very long time, possibly even before I was born, because I was born in 71. So we're going to chop that up at a later date about Roe versus Wade. And how do you feel about abortion? Everyone's entitled to his or her opinion. But yes, new pill, new drug, maybe not a new drug, but it's being offered by CVS and Walgreens. Women will be able to purchase the drug in certain states. And when I come back to do the abortion video, I'll then bring you the information of the states that currently have the right to abort a fetus. So I'll bring you that information. But it's called mifepristone. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Next topic, Puff Diddy. Oh my goodness. The more I hear allegations against P. Diddy, Puffy, whatever you want to call him, Sean Combs, I start to wonder if I'm listening to a repeat of R. Kelly. Naturally, he's a man. He's entitled to like whom he wants. He's entitled to date men, women, whomever. But it sounds like a repeat of R. Kelly. Are these allegations true? These people bringing forward these allegations? I don't know. But I know it just sounds eerily similar to R. Kelly. All the allegations of women, children, men, whomever. R. Kelly didn't discriminate. He liked whatever moved. So it looks like this train is the same with P. Diddy. More allegations. Are they true? Number one. Why now come out and say anything? Because people are always going to question that. It's not to say that the allegations aren't true, but people are going to say, well, why now? Is he gay, bisexual? Because there are men who do like men and women, but they won't tell their partner or the women they date that they like men. And we're hearing more and more men are on the down low or openly bisexual. But when you're in this business, and at the time that he came out, which would have been what, late 80s, early 90s, it was not a popular thing to be an entertainer, whether it be a rapper or a musician, singer, to publicly say you like men. I think we already know this. Now we're in a time where more people are open with their sexuality, trying different ways of living, sexually, which is soever. So people don't mind saying, yeah, I like wearing a dress sometimes, or wearing women's underwear, or dressing in drag, or I sometimes sample, the same sex, which is soever. It's no big deal now to some people, to some. So is Diddy a closet homosexual? Because many people are going to wonder, why are these people coming out? Why were there so many rumors back in the day? I really didn't ever hear of the rumors because I didn't ever keep up with, I didn't ever keep up with, hip hop news and musician news to know which was which, who's doing what. I just really didn't keep up with that. Entertainment news per se. I might hear a little rumor here and there, but I didn't dwell on it. So now we start to wonder, what is the truth? So we're going to go into the belly of the beast and get some information pertaining to Puff Diddy and the latest allegations against him. Ooh, sorry, allergies. Tennessee's bad with allergies, honey. Sinuses, more or less. This is a bad place if you decide to come visit. Your eyes will start watering and you'll start sniffling at the nose. It's a terrible place. Please check out my content on Wendy Williams. I've got a few videos in the YouTube queue pertaining to her brother speaking out, Fat Joe, Steve Wilkos, now her ex-publicist, Sean Zanotti. She has spoken. So please check out my previous videos on that content. Sorry, I'm scrolling through my little database of all my videos of content. And there's also some information about the judge taking a bribe, the judge who oversaw the guardianship. We'll get to that later as well. We're also going to talk about Meek Mill. His name has been brought up in this debacle of nonsense pertaining to Puffy. I got so many articles. Let's start with all the allegations and then we'll backtrack to each one. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App, stickers and chats are welcome to the live stream. I got 41 viewing. Thank you so much for your time. The cut is the source. I'm going to read this to you. I wish they had this on audio so I didn't have to read so much of it. All of the allegations against Diddy. This is uploaded February 27th, everybody. Happy March to the viewing audience. Okay. I think I'm going to put these focals on to make it easier for me to read. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hello, Lolo. Hello, Pinto. Who else is in here? Anybody else joining me? All right, let's get down to it, everybody. In November 2023, the singer Cassie, real name Cassandra Ventura, filed an explosive federal lawsuit against her former partner, Sean Diddy Combs, claiming he had been physically and sexually abusive throughout their relationship. The complaint alleged that Combs' abuse ranged from beating Ventura and forcing her to have sex with other men to raping her at her home in 2018. The rapper settled the lawsuit within a day, but since then, 3 more women and 1 man have sued Combs, accusing him of a wide range of abusive behavior, including sexual harassment, rape, non-consensual pornography, and sex trafficking. The music mogul has denied all the allegations, claiming that his accusers are attempting to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation, and my legacy. Here's everything you need to know about the civil case against him. Cassie alleged she was the victim of a pattern of abuse, violence, sex trafficking. Ventura sued under New York's Adult Survivors Act, which gave victims a one-time 1-year window to sue their alleged sexual abusers and institutions, even if the statute of limitations had run out. The window expired in November. She says she first met Combs in 2005 when she was 19 and he was 37. In the lawsuit, she alleges that Combs controlled nearly every aspect of her life, from her career to having access to her personal medical records. Now let's talk about that. 19 years of age, he's 37. He's old enough to be her father. What did he want with a 19-year-old? Just ask him. What did you want with a 19-year-old female? Very interesting. In the lawsuit, she alleges that Combs controlled nearly every aspect, as I said, from her career down to the medical record. She claims he was frequently violent, physically abusing her multiple times a year, and that he often plied her with copious amounts of drugs. Now, the flip side of this information is, if you believe it, one would say, well, why didn't you leave? Why would you allow somebody to abuse you, one, talk down to you, engage you, or offer you to have sex with men, bring other men in, bring other women in, whichever one it was? Why do that? Because people are going to start to say, well, there's a level of how far you want to go into the belly of the beast dealing with a person. Physical violence is the worst, of course. Verbal abuse. Now we're talking about sex partners. Now, if you're down with that, you want to try some menage a trois, menage a 8, whatever, that's your business. But if you tell the person, hey, I'm not interested, then don't do it. That's what people are going to say. Well, why do it? You're already getting beat up and hurt, so you say, so now he's bringing in partners. I don't want to, I'm not interested. So was it a matter of they're together, they're alone, and poof, in walks Paul, Joe, Sugar Mama, what are we saying? Or he takes you somewhere, doesn't tell you where they're going, and then you walk in a room, there's a guy, a girl. You see where I'm going? How is it laid out? And how many times did it go on? People are going to be curious. Okay. She claims he was frequently violent, physically abusing her multiple times a year, and that he often, once again, plied her with drugs. Another situation. Why take the drugs if you're not a user? So were you a user when you met him? Did you try it? You liked it? You didn't like it? Didn't like it, and he kept bringing drugs around. See, it's going from one thing to the other. Abuse, drugs, extra sexual partners. The point is, where do you draw the line if you're uncomfortable with the person that you're with? Just ask him. The complaint also claims that Combs forced Ventura to have sex with male sex workers in different cities. Encounters, she says, he watched, masturbated to, and recorded. Very interesting. The singer says she never went to the police because she was afraid that doing so would merely give Mr. Combs another excuse to hurt her. Now let's talk about the videoing of the actions. He's getting off, touching himself, whatsoever. I might believe there's some truth to that, because somebody else who's bringing forward allegations against Mr. Combs says he showed him videos. Stay woke now, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe there's some truth to him liking to film. We also learned that Mr. R. Kelly likes to film as well. Now, this is the same person that couldn't read and write, but he knows how to press record on a phone device or iPad, whatever he was using to film Mr. R. Kelly. So now we have the same type of allegations with Mr. Sean. It's very interesting. The complaint also claims that Combs forced Ventura to have sex with male sex workers in different cities. Encounters, she says, like, just repeat it, he watched and recorded. So let's ask that question. Were these men and she using contraceptives? Did they use condoms? Because now you're talking about men who are walking the street and going around sleeping with different people. And it's really not going to matter if they got them through an app, through a company, or off the street. Because they're sleeping with multiple people, you have to ask yourself, did they have venereal diseases, HIV, AIDS? Are we going to find out later that one of these people are HIV positive? So I got a feeling that's on the horizon next. We already heard those allegations with Robert Kelly giving a certain woman herpes. So are we going to hear later that one of these people who has engaged in sexual relationships with Mr. Sean, they have a venereal disease such as herpes, HIV, AIDS, and then the other one, I can't think of the name. You all know what I'm talking about. Hepatitis C. This is bad. Once again, she never went to the police because she was afraid that he, would hurt her. And she won't give an excuse to hurt her. She also alleges that following a dinner in 2018, Combs forced himself into her apartment and raped her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Ventura says she ended the relationship for good afterward. So we go back to 2005 all the way up to 2018. That's 13 years of abuse, drugs, sexual partners. That's a long time to be under the spell of a human being. But one would say if it's 1 day and 3 seconds, it's too long. 2 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, you're entitled to your interpretation. In her lawsuit, she referred to multiple witnesses who saw the abuse take place. One of them is her friend, singer-songwriter Tiffany Red, who wrote an open letter to Combs describing the incident on Ventura's 29th birthday party in 2015. Ventura and Red claimed that night, Combs and his security team forced Ventura to leave because he wanted her to have sexual encounters with other men. Red said Ventura had disclosed to her at the time that Combs was physically abusive. I feel compelled to show up for Cassie and myself and confirm that everything she described in her complaint about what happened that night is consistent with what I experienced, she wrote. So do you believe this Tiffany Red person? In a statement to New York Times, Combs' lawyer, Benjamin Brafman, said Combs denied the allegations and that the lawsuit was riddled with baseless and outrageous lies aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday. Ventura and Combs settled the lawsuit 1 day after it was filed. The details remain private. Brafman said that the settlement is in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Well, that depends on your interpretation. Many people feel like once you settle a lawsuit, you are admitting to some guilt of the improprieties and the allegation. Why settle it? And you settled it 1 day. You didn't even let it go on 1 month, 1 year, 2 years. You didn't even let it get before a judge, Sean. Why not? You're innocent. There's no truth to the allegations. Why not take it to court? I'm just curious. Why not take it to court? Because there probably are some truths. There is some truth to what she has said. And if she can bring forward text messages, notes, eyewitness testimony, videos of sexual acts, anything you sent her, that would be damning to your reputation. And you would not want that out. And that's why you would settle in 1 day. That's my opinion. Everyone's entitled to his or her opinion. My thing is, if there's no truth to it, I don't have to settle. Because think about that for just a sec. Let's flip the coin. Imagine, which is what's happening right now, every person jumps out of a clown car suing you for assault or defamation or sexual abuse, whatever. And you say, well, I'm just going to settle it to make it go away. Well, there is no going away because now we're at what, 5? So that's the point. You settle with Cassie today, then now here comes another person tomorrow, 2 months from now. Now it can go from 1 to 6 to 12 to 20 to 30. So what are you going to do? You're going to settle with all these people just because you're worried about your reputation and worried about what people are going to think. Well, people are going to think what they want anyway. And obviously there were allegations against you as being this type of party guy with different partners, allegedly messing around with people in the entertainment building, maybe proteges, messing with men preferably. So obviously the rumors were out there a long time ago. So you couldn't have cared then. Just saying. And there are people who have said, you like to party hard, you like to whisper, hey, you want to go over here, you want to go do this. Some of the guys declined because they knew what it entailed. Probably didn't want their name in the street, didn't want nothing getting back. Hell, don't want to get sued because something jump off and they're in the room. Now, here comes somebody saying, yeah, they were there and this one was there, because that's what we're seeing here with you. Other people being named in the suits. So we'll get to that as well. So once again, the lawyer says the settlement in no way is an admission of wrongdoing. Well, some might say that's not true. You're entitled to your opinion. I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control, Ventura said in a statement. I want to thank my family, fans, and lawyers for their unwavering support. Meanwhile, Combs said, we have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love. Very interesting. Hey, honey. So how do you feel about that? He gives a positive statement. He replies with a positive statement. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love. I don't know. Sounds like there's been some wrongdoing. That's my opinion. 4 more people have come forward with allegations against Diddy. Following this settlement, Liza Gardner filed a lawsuit on November 23rd, right before the Adult Survivors Act expired. She says she and a friend met Combs and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall at an MCA Records event in 1990 or 91. They returned to Hall's apartment for an after party where Gardner says she was offered more drinks and was coerced into having sex with Combs. She says Combs also assaulted her friend. The lawsuit claims the encounter left Gardner shocked and traumatized, and as she got dressed, Hall allegedly barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced her to have sex with him. Gardner claims that Combs came to the home she shared with her friend a few days later and allegedly attacked her again. Now, this makes no sense. This man has assaulted you. So how did he get in the house? Same thing with the Cassie incident where she says he assaulted her in 18, busted in her house. Okay, how did he get in your house, Cassie, to assault you? Did he have a key? What are we saying? You let him in, he was pretending to be apologetic, and then he attacked you? What? Now, as for this older event from 1991 with Aaron Hall, allegedly, they've assaulted these women in a house, or assaulted this woman in a house. And then she says he came to the home she shared with a friend a few days later and allegedly attacked her again. So how did he get in? I'm confused. He came to the house looking for the friend because he was worried she would tell the girl he was with at the time, according to the suit. This makes no sense. He came to the house looking for the friend because he was worried she would tell the girl he was with at the time. So I guess he was worried about somebody tattletelling on the woman that he, I guess, was dating while he was canoodling with these women. This is so ignorant. In another complaint filed the same day, Joy Dickerson Neal alleges that in 1991, now these are both back in the 90s, she reluctantly went on a date with Combs, who intentionally drugged and sexually assaulted her after their dinner. She claims that Combs recorded the assault and showed the tape to other people. While Dickerson Neal did not go to the authorities immediately after the alleged assault, she says she did eventually file a police report with unspecified agencies in New York and New Jersey. So now here we have another person talking about the videoing of sexual deviances. So we have Cassie saying the same. Now we have this woman claiming of an incident from the 90s. He filmed it. So that means he would have to film it with a regular video camera. Because back in the 90s, there were no cell phones Okay, there were no cell phones, there were no iPhones, no Androids. So he had to have been filming it with a regular camera or had a camera set up somewhere in the home privately to film the sexual act. Very interesting. He showed it to other people, so I'm assuming it got back to her. While Dickerson Neal did not go to the authorities once again about the assault, she filed a report in New York and New Jersey. The complaint says prosecutors told her they need to corroborate her allegations, but she believes possible witnesses were terrified that Combs would retaliate against them and that they would lose future business and music opportunities if they made a statement backing her account. So did her lawyer reach out to the people who came back and told her about the tape? Because that's probably who she's speaking of. And they didn't want to say anything to fear retaliation from Mr. Diddy. So how many people did Mr. Diddy show the video to? Interesting. A spokesperson for Diddy said the two women's claims are fabricated and accused them of exploiting the Adult Survivors Act. Another woman referred to as Jane Doe in the complaint filed a fourth lawsuit on December 6, alleging that Combs, his longtime lieutenant Harvey Pierre, and a third unidentified assailant gang raped her at Combs' Manhattan recording studio in 2003. When she was 17 years old. Once again, another young person that's not of age. The one girl was 19, Cassie, when she met him, but this girl's 17, still considered a child in some states. Pierre, who previously served as president of Combs Bad Boy Entertainment, has also been sued by a former assistant who alleges he used his position of authority as plaintiff's boss to groom, exploit, and sexually assault her several times between 16 and 17. The lawsuit claims that the men trafficked Doe across state lines from Detroit to New York City on a private jet, plied the teenager with drugs and alcohol until she couldn't consent. Now you got to ask, where were her parents? Because now you're talking about flying from state to state. Private plane? Whose plane was it? How many days did this go on? So you got to ask all the questions. And then they violently assaulted her as she told them to stop. So where did this take place? In a hotel room? While they're wherever they were, New York City. The complaint also includes several photos that Doe alleged were taken at the studio on that night, including one where she's sitting on Combs' lap. Now, some will say, oh, well, you're sitting on his lap. You were enjoying his company. Doesn't look like violence, but who's to say it was just an innocent picture of her sitting on his lap? She thought she was there to have fun, enjoy herself, and then they turned on her afterwards. You're entitled to your opinion. In February, Combs' former producer and videographer filed a federal lawsuit. Now, this is somebody close to him. Producer, videographer filed a federal lawsuit against the mogul, alleging Combs sexually harassed, drugged, and threatened him. Now, this is a man. Lord, this is deep. Alleging Combs sexually harassed him, drugged, and threatened. According to the lawsuit, Rodney Little Rod Jones worked on Combs' most recent album, Love, and lived with him between September 22 of November 23. So that's about a year and 2 months. Jones alleges he was the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs on one occasion. The lawsuit claims Jones woke up naked and disoriented in bed with Combs and two sex workers. He alleges the music mogul drugged him. What in the hell? So this goes back to allegations with Cassie. You see the pattern because as you hear her say in this article, there was a pattern. So there's a pattern with this guy who was a producer and videographer for Mr. Combs, and he helped work on his last album, Love. So you're a guy. So people will say, well, it's probably easier to coerce a female, either underage or grown, versus a man. You're a man. You're secure at your manhood. You know what you like. You know you like women. If you do like women, you should have stood firm. Because what I'm questioning is, why was he living with this man? Why were you living with Sean Diddy? You're a grown man. You're making money. You should have been paid a salary. You should have had other endeavors so you could pay bills somewhere. So now we're going to ask question number one. Lil Rod, Rodney Jones. One, are you gay or bisexual, heterosexual? What are you? Are you trans? What are you? Number one. Number two, did you willingly have sex with Mr. Diddy? Why were you living with this man for a year? Why are you now coming forward with allegations against him? So you have to ask all those questions because you have to lay it all out. When you hear of a man living with a man, that don't sound good. One, a man living with a man who has a career. Why would Puff want this man to stay with him, number one? Number two, why would you want to live with him? You understand what I'm saying? Number two, why are you living there? I'm serious. Why are you living there? Now he's groping you. So we got a roommate situation, or it wasn't a love situation, and you're now trying to jump in and get some money. I don't know. So two men living together, which to me don't make no sense. He's groping you. That don't make no sense. And you let this go on and you're a man. So if you don't like men, you offended. Did you want to tell him to stop? Because make it make sense. I don't understand why a man is going to sit here and let another man grope him. We're not talking about a child fearing a grown-up touching him. You're a grown man allowing another man to touch you. And you're going to try to make this make some sense to what? A jury, a judge? Because it don't make sense to me, and I'm 53. The average man would have knocked the fuck out of P. Diddy. How about that? He got knocked the fuck out. So we would have heard this story a long time ago. Puff Diddy got beat up by the producer, videographer. You see where I'm going? Okay. Just saying. You woke up disoriented in the bed with him and two other workers. I'm assuming those were men. He alleges the music mogul drugged him. So did Mr. Diddy drug this so-called friend, associate, roommate? The complaint also claims that in his role as Combs' videographer, Jones secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Combs, his staff, and guests engaging in serious illegal activity. What would that activity be? The use of narcotics, selling narcotics, passing it around, trafficking women, abusing the women, sodomizing women. What are we talking about? Assaulting them. It says the illegal activity the suit alleges includes acquiring drugs, soliciting sex workers, providing lace drinks to minors, and sexual assault. This ain't good. Jones' suit names several other defendants, including, I'm going to bring you his statement too during this live stream. Combs' chief of staff, Christina Karam, Universal Music Group CEO, Sir Lucian Grange, and former Motown Records CEO, Ethiopia Habtab Mariam. I think I'm saying her name correctly. Combs' lawyer, Sean Hawley, denied Jones' allegations. We have overwhelming, undisputable proof that his claims are complete lies, she told People. Well, this is what you have to ask yourself. Why would somebody be filming this with Mr. Diddy in the videos? That's what I'd like to know. Why would he be filmed? Okay? Because they obviously wanted proof. So you now got to say they allowed Puff Diddy, the other people in the room, they allowed somebody to sit here with a phone and pan around what they're doing and didn't care. And I would think somebody would say, hey, man, put the camera down. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. That should have ensued an argument, physical altercation. So all this is bizarre to me, that this man has proof of this and nobody would tell this guy, hey, put your phone down. Hey, why are you filming this? This is just, I'm stuttering because this doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Once again, Combs' lawyer, Sean Hawley, has denied all the allegations by Mr. Jones. Enough is enough, Diddy said in a statement. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth, quote unquote. In late November, Diddy temporarily stepped down as chairman of Revolt, the media company he founded in 2013. While Mr. Combs has previously had no operational or day-to-day role in the business, the company said in a statement, this decision helps to ensure that Revolt remains steadfastly focused on our mission to create meaningful content for the culture and amplify the voices of all Black people throughout this country and the African diaspora. Capital Prep Harlem, a charter school he opened in 2016, also announced it would end its partnership with the music mogul. So that's one person who now not dealing with him. And I also believe his items for sale are not sold, and I believe it was Macy's or one of the high-end department stores as well. Meanwhile, Variety reports that a new reality show featuring Combs, which was in the early stages of development at Hulu, also has been scrapped following the allegations. The show, tentatively titled Diddy Plus 7, would have followed Combs and his family. So now we're talking about three entities he's no longer a part of, stepping down from Revolt, the Capital Prep Harlem Charter School announced it would end its partnership with him, and then Hulu has backed out of its documentary pertaining to Mr. Combs. Let's now go into the belly of the beast of the actual allegations by the new people. Oh, Lordy, 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 Lordy. Okay, so that's a videographer producer claiming problems. The Sun has decided to speak out pertaining to these allegations against his father. Thank you all so much. Afrobeats Plus is the source. The lawsuit, which was filed in the Manhattan Federal District Court, alleges that Sean Combs engaged in sexual harassment, assaulted Jones during their collaboration on the album, the Love album, Off the Grid. According to Jones, his time working with Combs was marred by instances of unwanted sexual advances and attempts to coerce him into compromising situations. Furthermore, Jones alleges that he was not fairly compensated for his contributions to the album, leading him to launch a crowdfunding campaign to support his legal battle against Combs. Jones claims to have produced 9 out of the 11 tracks on the album and is now seeking $30 million in damages. Jones also alleges Diddy directed his son, Justin Combs, and other colleagues to seek sex workers. So now he's saying the son was also involved in the sexual escapades. This is bad and deviant behavior. He also went on to claim Justin was tasked with locating underage girls to attend the parties. Is that true? Did Diddy solicit his son to seek out underage girls to attend his parties? Justin Combs' legal representative has, however, swiftly come to his defense, denying the accusations leveled against him. In a statement to TMZ, the representative stated that Combs categorically denies these absurd allegations. They are all lies. This is a clear example of a desperate person taking desperate measures in hopes of a payday. There will be legal consequences for all defamatory statements made about the Combs family. Oh, so what are you going to sue back? Or y'all going to beat them up? I don't know. The lawsuit also names other prominent figures in the music industry, including Combs' chief of staff, Christina Karam, which I mentioned earlier, Universal Music Group CEO Sir Lucian Grange, and former Motown Records CEO Ethiopia Habtemariam. Earlier, a video of Lil Rod resurfaced online showing him calling out Diddy weeks before his lawsuit and claiming he stole his publishing. Lil Rod also reportedly started a GoFundMe asking the internet to help him gather the funds to sue Diddy. So how much money has he raised to sue this man? Now, let's read a comment underneath this post. This is from Livewire one day ago. You know how you avoid a situation like this. You don't move your work colleagues into your home. Just because we're working on a project together, there's no need for us to cohabitate to do that. I'm quite sure Diddy has heard the rumors and the running jokes about him over the past 20 years plus, yet he still moves like he's oblivious to the fact that there's been Gangs of people saying these things about him. And I will agree with that. I totally agree with that. This is strange to me. Exactly what he's saying. You know, you've heard the rumors about you being gay, bisexual, whatever. Why would you move a colleague in your house? See, that makes no sense to me either. So he says, whether jokingly or serious, for years, if I was doing all of these things, I would stop all activity that would paint my picture to people that I am. If not for my reputation's sake, at least for the sake of avoiding men like this. Because whether this is true or not, he's definitely losing right now. Respect, endorsements, and possibly even his freedom, depending on how far this goes. Nathaniel Gordon replies, he better be careful. The court released the charges, and they clearly state the plaintiff has recorded video and voice evidence. Exactly. So you already got two people talking about him liking to record things. So that's bad in itself right there. So Cuddle Inspiration replies, Diddy paid Cassie so fast, everybody coming for his bag. It's sad if it's all lies. It's sad when people attack your wealth and your name because they are broken, chasing clout to become relevant. So are these people making this up? Cassie making this up, this producer making it up, the other allegations, the people making it up. Just saying, are these people making this up? Samson Atkins says, his dad brought him a $140,000 car. My friend's daughter showed me. Of course, he's going to say his dad is innocent. Laugh out loud. Okay. Smiley Face replies, see, what makes me believe all the accusations about Diddy true, he knew he would be able to back people off him because he's claiming they want a payday. Please let someone have video or voice messages to stop this evil predator. Then Eddie replies, they were all lies until they weren't. Okay. Mr. West replies, Papa Diddy Pop has done too many accusations and now video and audio? Question marks and exclamation points. Meek Mill's out here done crashed his car because the paperwork is out. What's next? 50 warned us, Diddy bad boy is the destination for your career to go nowhere. 100 facts. Matt McMillan says it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. If you've got video of drugs, solicitation of people, sex workers, people performing acts, you've recorded acts, somebody's got a hold of the video, kind of like what happened with R. Kelly many moons ago of him taping all those different women. Somebody didn't like him, obviously, and they went and got that tape, and it had to be somebody close to him, and they put that tape out there for distribution. See, this is why people don't understand. Everybody's not your friend. I don't know why people keep having these people hang around them and thinking that they're friends. They're not. They're not your friend. Meek Mills has responded to this DJ Academics and this other tape guy because they have been saying nasty things about him or asking him to come forward and explain himself, which naturally you don't have to explain yourself about anything because the allegations are about Mr. Diddy, but allegedly the person who has come forward as of late has mentioned some famous people that Diddy has had sexual relations with, and I believe Mr. Meek Mill, his name has been mentioned in the allegations. So he's responded. Let's go to that Meek Mill business. Woo! What a mess. What a mess. Hello, everybody. Just reading you all some content. Clutch Points is the source. Meek Mill found himself, hold on one second. Get this off my screen. Found himself at the center of controversy after explosive allegations surfaced in a lawsuit against Diddy suggesting a homosexual relationship involving the Philadelphia rapper. Vibe reports the lawsuit filed by Rodney Little Rod Jones detailed encounters between Diddy and various artists with footnotes hinting at Meek Mill as one of the individuals involved. And I already brought you the allegations during this commentary from Mr. Little Rod. This is the videographer and producer. So we have interesting information from this DJ Academics, allegedly expressing astonishment at the idea of Meek Mill engaging in a sexual relationship with Diddy and demanded that the rapper address the allegations to clear his name. Meek responded to Academics, stating his readiness to confront him and dismissing the accusations as part of a larger effort to control the narrative and independent artists, around independent artists. This is from Meek Mill. The way you NIGGAS coming on the sick now. I can't wait to meet Academics laugh out loud. They know I dropped tomorrow, which I guess is tomorrow. They damage control, this net getting too weird. So, Mr. Academics, why do you feel like he needed to explain anything to you? I'm confused. Who are you for him to explain himself to? Meek Mill. Why does Meek Mill need to acknowledge you and the general public that, he did or did not have a relationship with Diddy? What I'd like to know. I mean, who are you? Pretend like you're Gayle King or somebody. Come on. Meanwhile, controversial internet personality Andrew Tate also entered the fray, bluntly asking whether Meek Mill and Usher had sexual relations with Diddy. So now we have information from the videographer who's bringing claims that his publishing's been stolen, that he didn't get all the payment for working on that album with P. Diddy, and also him groping him, and he was living with him, so on and so forth, allegedly. He mentioned two people in this, I guess, deposition of celebrities who have been with Diddy allegedly, and those two people are Usher and Meek Mill. And I just read you Meek Mill's statement pertaining to Academics wanting to know what's the truth or not. So here we go. Meek swiftly fired back at Tate, this other person who wants to know what's going on, referencing Tate's own scandal involving charges of sexual assault and human trafficking. Despite Tate's persistence in questioning the allegations, Meek remained firm in his denial and ceased further engagement with him. Meek Mill put on his X page, "Was you sex trafficking women? TF wrong with you, Brody." Well, Mr. Tate, were you sex trafficking women? Since you're so worried about what Mr. Meek is doing, I'm just curious. Later, Meek took to Twitter to assert his innocence and address the allegations directly. He emphasized that he operates on a different wavelength from the rest of the industry and reiterated his stance against the accusations. The swirling controversy surrounding Meek Mill highlights the challenges faced by artists in the entertainment industry, particularly when confronted with damaging allegations. As the situation continues to unfold, Meek's response underscores his determination to defend his reputation and amidst the intense scrutiny brought about by the lawsuit and subsequent social media discussions. Lord, what a mess. So this little Rod obviously had to name the two people in the deposition, because I believe Diddy and his lawyers wanted the names mentioned, I guess, of whomever this little Rod was speaking of that Diddy messed around with. So he's now mentioned their names. Well, how is that going to work now, little Rod? You mentioning Meek Mill's name and Usher's name. So now we're going to wait to see if Usher respond, or has he responded? I do not know. That he's had an affair or relations with P. Diddy. So let's ask the overall question. Is Puff Daddy a closet homosexual, number one? Has he been groping, coercing men and women with drugs, sex workers, drugging them? Are these allegations true by the people who have come forward trying to get those last-minute lawsuits in due to this New York Survivors Act? Did he steal this man's publishing, Mr. Rod's publishing? Did he have any relationships with Mr. Rod? Mr. Rod, why were you living with him? Puff Daddy, Diddy, why did you have him live with you? Were you groping this man, soliciting this man? Did you drug him and he woke up in the bed with you and two other men? What the hell is going on here? This is ridiculous. I mean, oh, wow. You can't make this stuff up. Now, Mr. Mill has crashed his car. People probably thinking he was upset, distraught, maybe under the influence. he laughs it off like it was a mishap with the pedal, if I'm not mistaken. So you're entitled to your opinion. He says he was knocked out in the crash. Once again, earlier this week, Diddy was hit with another lawsuit for someone accusing him of sexual assault. Producer Little Rod Jones alleges that the Bad Boy Records founder groped him, showed him explicit videos, and more. What were those videos that he showed Mr. Rod? Random people having sex or sex he had with people. And in those videos, if they were celebrities, regular people, were they with men and women or men on men? Curious. He also accuses Diddy of revealing 2 fellow celebrities he slept with, though their names were redacted in the suit. I'm assuming this is where Meek Mill and Usher's name come into play. They had to be revealed per request of Mr. Diddy and his attorney, assumedly. So did these men, Meek Mill and Usher, sleep with Diddy? God, this is ridiculous. And Diddy, why would you tell somebody that you slept with these 2 men? What would make you comfortable? Let's just say this is true. Allegedly. Why would you go to a man who assumes that you're straight and tell a straight man that you slept with 2 other famous men? Help me understand. See, this will lead me to believe that all of these people might be hanky-panky, got something going on. Not necessarily talking about Usher, Meek Mill, but this Rod person. Because you always got to think about homosexuality. They say that most gay men know another gay man, okay? That's what's been said about a gay man. He knows another gay man. So this is why he puts a certain man on his radar, because he sees something in him that makes him think he's also that way, even if he's buff, masculine, whatever. But then the flip side of that is a man is a man. So whether he's gay, bisexual, straight, if he sees something that he likes, he'll go after it, even if the man proclaims he's straight. So it's a toss of the coin. You're entitled to believe what you want. But in my mind, I still will say, if I was this man, Puff Diddy, and I'm into men, it's going to be 1 or 2. I'm just ignorant as hell, don't give a you know what, and I'm just going to go to this guy who I think I'm cool with, who I think is straight, or I'm thinking he's that way too, and show him, or he's doing it to bait him. Take your pick. Because you really don't know, because people are so boisterous and so brazen, rather, with their behavior. He might have been the type, he likes to bait people. And I think that's what R. Kelly did. We learned that with the young girl who said, you know, she was going to his house, going out to his house, skipping school and everything. And he had a man, Bubba, whomever, going down on him. And she walked in the room. He did that to see what she would do. It was bait. Let me invite her in the room. Let me get her reaction. I won't doubt that's what Puff Diddy was doing with this guy, this videographer, friend, Lil Rod. Let me show him videos of me having sex with men and this and that. Let me get his reaction. Let me see what he's about. Ding, ding, ding. Why do you think people do certain things in front of people? It's to bait them. It's to see if they will go along with the program. Kind of like a man meet a woman. He don't know if she's into porn or not. He don't know how to ask her if she want to watch porn. So maybe he'll just slyly sit beside her or send her a video, let's say, of 2 people having sex. Man and a woman, okay? Or a menage a trois. And then he waits to get her reply. See if she says, oh, why you send me this filth, blah, blah, blah. Or she says, oh, okay, I see they were getting down. What's up? See where I'm going? So maybe that's what Puff has been doing with many people. Strangers, underage people, children, people in the industry. He showed them videos, because I heard some other guy, I believe, said that, I don't know if this is the same guy, that he showed video content. So maybe this is his MO. I don't really know if dude is like this or not, so I'll just show him the video and see and get his reaction. But see, the dangerous part about that, you're showing this to men who I would assume are heterosexual. So what would risk you, I said assuming, what would make you want to go out on a limb and put yourself out there that you're down with homosexuality if people they think you're straight? That's what I don't understand. Excuse me. This is just ridiculous to me. So, Lil Rod, Mr. Rod Jones, says 2 fellow celebrities slept with Diddy and their names were redacted in the suit. According to social media users, however, their descriptions were pretty telling. One of the performers was described as a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, who fans speculate could be Meek Mill. The other is rumored to be Usher, as they're said to have performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. Meek Mill has since fervently denied ever having a sexual relationship with Diddy and gotten wrapped up in a heated online feud with DJ Academics, who spearheaded the rumors. What a mess. While it's undoubtedly been a tough week for the Philly-born performer, it looks like things only got worse today. Recently, he took to social media to reveal that he got into a car crash, sharing a photo of damage to his vehicle. God telling, "Don't crash out for the busters," he captured in the image. "I'ma listen to SHIT, knock me out, laugh out loud. GMC, the whole brake pedal. Slipped off my first time driving, shaking my head. Luckily, it appears as though Meek Mill was uninjured and took the accident as a sign from God." Things are also looking up for the rapper as he just dropped a new EP, Heathenism. So far, it's been a hit among fans. What do you think of Meek Mill revealing that he crashed his car? What about the rumors that he was listed in Diddy's latest lawsuit? Share your thoughts in the comment sections down below and keep an eye on the HNHH for more updates. This is hotnewhiphop.com if you need the source. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. Well, nobody invited you. There we go. There we go. Going through you all comments. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hello, everybody. This is SmackDown Saturday, where we're just talking about various subject matters. So what do you all think? I don't know. I'm not in his bedroom to know what the hell he's been into. I know a lot of men are undercover. We do know this. Black and white, different races. So it's bad when you have to defend yourself against allegations of any kind. But do you believe, one, the allegations against Puff Daddy, from Cassie, these other people, this Lil Rod? Do you believe Puff Diddy talked about having relationships with Usher and Meek Mill? Because I'm not saying people don't do it, because I know people do all kind of crazy shit, but why would you tell that? I don't understand that. Why would you discuss this with Lil Rod or anybody? Knowing people talk. I just don't understand. Maybe he feels like he's invincible, because this sounds to me just eerily similar to R. Kelly. It sounds like the same MO, debating young women, getting other people to go out and get women, underage girls. Now we're talking about the bisexuality. You showing videos, you're filming people. It's all the same MO. So what I have to tell myself is this. Let's say some of this is true. Then there are probably more musicians, entertainers, wealthy people who are doing the same. The cat just ain't got out the bag. There are probably other men who have filmed people in their bedrooms, and the people didn't even know that the tape existed until somebody came back and told them. And let me tell you something. That would be a humiliating thing, to have somebody walk up to you and say, "Hey, I saw a tape of you and such and such." And you're like, "What?" "Yeah, I saw a tape." And then they start describing your hair and what you were doing. That ain't no good. Hello, Andrew. How you doing? Thank you. This is bad, because I feel like this is like a repeat of R. Kelly. It's the same. the videos, trafficking, flying this one over here. We hear now we have an underage girl flying back and forth from Detroit to New York City. It's the same R. Kellyism. And he's implicated his son as going out getting young women or what, underage girls to join in the parties. Is that true? The son says these are lies. There will be repercussions for bringing forward these allegations. Defamation. So will the son now sue Lil Rod for defamation? What is Puffy getting ready to do? You getting ready to sue him too? Did you steal his publishing? Because hell, if you stole his publishing, pay the damn man the money for the damn music and let's keep it moving. Because this a hot butter mess. Hello, Jeff. How you doing? Hello, everybody in the chat. This is bad, bad, bad. Because this is what happens with lawsuits. It takes one person to come out. As my mother used to say when I was a child, it takes one monkey to stop the show. And then, before you know it, that one monkey becomes 6 monkeys. And billy goats and whatever else you want to add on. And it gets out of control. You start forgetting what the hell you heard the first time because you're like, okay, well, now this person came, now here comes this person. What the hell is going on? This is bad. And like I said earlier, he can't afford to pay out another person because whatever he settled with Cassie is private. Probably signed a clause for her not to speak on it again. I mean, I don't know. I can't see him paying somebody else out. It wouldn't look good. Now, if he stole this man's publishing, Lil Rod's publishing, then he owes him money for that. If that man can prove he never got paid his due for working on the album, then yeah, take him to court for that. But now you're talking, you done went from publishing rights, not being compensated for your work, to groping, being drugged, woke up in a bed with 2 other men and him. This is bad. This is real bad. And then we have Cassie saying the same thing. He brought in sex workers with her, had her coerce her into being with these men, I'm assuming, and he liked to watch, masturbate. But I believe Lil Rod said they were in the bed together. Let me go back to that. Because this is this is deep, honey. Oh, Jesus wept. Jesus wept. Noah wept. they all wept. Woo. I feel like singing a Tina Turner song. I can't stand the rain against my window. Because this is bad. Hold on one second. Let me pull that up, that article with that guy. Woo, sorry about the background. When the weather's nice in East Tennessee, the fellas love to pull those motorcycles out. So that's what we got going on. Okay, let me find that article. Let's see. Because I want to make sure I get all that correct. Let me see if it's in this by the cut. Thank you for Greece. Oh, Lord. City people ain't got nothing better to do. It's a beautiful day. Why don't you all find something constructive to do instead of trolling the chat? Thank you. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to see what he says. It says right here, on one occasion, the lawsuit claims Jones woke up naked and disoriented in bed with Combs and 2 sex workers. He alleges the music mogul drugged him. This is by Lil Rod Jones, a videographer and producer that worked with Mr. Combs. He worked on his album, Love, and he stayed with him from September 22 to November 23. These are his allegations against Puff Diddy. Constant, unsolicited, unauthorized groping and touching of his tail by Mr. Combs. He alleges Mr. Combs and his staff and guests engaging in serious illegal activity, which include acquiring drugs, soliciting sex workers, providing laced drinks to minors, and sexual assault. In the suit, he is claiming that Combs' chief of staff, Christina Karam, Universal Music Group CEO Sir Lucian Grange, former Motown Records CEO Ethiopia, Hap Tamaram, and also his son Justin in these allegations. Wow, wow, wow. Boy, you can't make this up. All right, ignorant. Ooh, they are really ignorant today. What is the problem? So let's ask this question. Are these allegations true by Mr. Lil Rod? That's what I'm wondering. Are they true? Are the allegations true? Yeah, they're all over the place. Nothing better to do. Are the allegations true by this Mr. Lil Rod? Did these things happen in the company of Puff Diddy and other associates using the son to get women, girls, underage girls, sexual assault, video filming of sexual acts, drugging people, putting drugs and drinks? He said he woke up in the bed with Mr. Combs and two other sex workers. Then you have to think about what I said earlier, the obvious. He's entitled to do whatever he wants, Mr. Combs. If he likes men, billy goats, dogs, it's his business. But you're still talking about soliciting sexual workers. Are these sex workers using condoms? Protection? Does Sean Combs use protection? Is he a homosexual, bisexual male? Did any of these people ever come up short with a venereal disease, HIV, AIDS? You might as well ask all these questions because this is just crazy. All this shenanigans with different entities. And that girl should have thought that. The Cassie girl, she should have thought that when he's bringing other people into the picture, who's to say she wasn't down with him going, meeting up with him with these people? I don't know. I wasn't there. But I do find it strange he settled the lawsuit within one day. That's deep. There's got to be some truth there because nobody just settles a lawsuit in one day. That's just very rare. Even if it's true, people don't settle in one day. Where are these people using protection? Because a lot of people do not use protection. That's their choice. But you're talking about a sex worker. He or she is out here sleeping with different random people for money. And then imagine they don't use anything. It only takes one time to come up short. So this is bad. This is real bad. And I do believe he likes to film his escapades with people. Because that's mentioned twice now. That's mentioned by Cassie. That's mentioned by Lil Rod. I don't see that that's made up. That's not made up. And I believe another female mentioned the same thing. That somebody came to her saying, I saw you in a video. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that's a lie. I don't believe that. My last subject for the hour, oh my goodness, is about this dirty cop. Let's talk about him. African-American male. He's been a real bad boy. This cop. We're going to talk about him. I just see they're busy tonight. Are they not in the chat? Can't even get one good comment in here. Just all this nonsense tonight inside of the chat. Why don't you all find something to do? This is a cohesive live stream. I don't know. Guess not. 4-part live, everybody. Abortion pill will be available in CVS and Walgreens in designated states where applicable. Trinity Clark of Knoxville, Tennessee, was rearrested for driving down the wrong way. She's been accused 3 counts of vehicular homicide last year, where an elderly man was unalive in a car crash. Some children were also injured. She was rearrested again for driving down the wrong way on the University of Tennessee. She also sued the city years ago for being strong-armed by an officer. She won that suit. And I'm assuming that little car she used last year in that drag race, which killed a man, she got from that lawsuit. So that was the beginning of the lie. Abortion pill, morning after pill, Trinity Clark, Puff Diddy, Meek Mill, this Lil Rod shenanigans brought you all the people who have filed lawsuits against Puff Daddy. You're entitled to believe the allegations or not. And the last part of this live stream is pertaining to this dirty cop who, while working as a police officer, he's no longer a police officer, he liked groping the detainees. And we're going to bring you that information. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAngie129 Cash App. Stickers and chats always welcome during the live stream. This is topic number 4. NBCnews.com is the source. Thank you so much. Marcellus Blackwell assaulted 19 men in his custody from November 8th, 2022 to June 5th, 2023, according to a 36-count superseding indictment returned on Wednesday. A new federal indictment accuses a former St. Louis area police officer of sexually assaulting 19 men while they were restrained in his custody, marking 11 additional victims. Marcellus Blackwell of St. Louis assaulted the men from November 8, 2022 to June 5, 2023, according to the 36-count superseding indictment returned by a grand jury Wednesday in U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri. He has now been charged with 19 counts of deprivation of rights under the color of law, 17 counts of altering records in a federal investigation. Wow, this is deep. Blackwell, 34, is accused of groping the men under their clothing without their consent and without a legitimate government purpose, the indictment said. The assaults occurred while the men were detained, restrained, or under arrest. So now you got to ask yourself, all these men that he assaulted, he didn't have a partner in the squad car with him. Was he always alone in groping these men? In one instance, Blackwell is accused of sodomizing a man with his finger, according to the indictment. Blackwell also knowingly falsified arrest reports about the men he's accused of assaulting in the indictment. So what did he do as far as falsifying arrests? Did he just find a man he was attracted to, detain him for no reason, made up something to arrest him so he could sexually assault him? Blackwell's attorney, Evan Greenberg, declined Thursday night to comment. The indictment also mentions about 15 instances in which Blackwell is accused of kidnapping the victims. Blackwell was an officer for about a year for the North County Police Cooperative, an agency that serves several communities in North Street, Lewis County. In September, a federal indictment accused Blackwell of groping 8 men he handcuffed. Blackwell has pled not guilty to the federal charges filed in September, according to court records. It was unclear Thursday whether he had entered a new plea based on the superseding indictment. The FBI in St. Louis has set up a hotline for potential victims. Wow, wow, wow. And that's what I was curious about. How many more has he groped? So he obviously likes men, but has he claimed to be heterosexual? This is bad. Bad, 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 bad. Well, I see they're just really bored. Well, we can fix all that. How about that? That's what I'm talking about. Ex-St. Louis area officer. He has currently, 19 counts. November 8th, 2022 to June 5th, 2023. Now it's this 36-count superseding indictment returned by the grand jury. Eastern District of Missouri. He is 34 years of age. Marcellus Blackwell. He's also an African-American male. Are there other people out there that he has sexually assaulted, groped, that weren't detained? How about that? This is bad. This is real bad. Let's get a bio on the defendant, or the suspect rather, because he has not been found guilty of the charges yet. Thank you all so much for joining me. Let's go into the belly of the beast about this guy. Riverfronttimes.com is the source. Thank you for joining me. Hagen, I'm going to call you up in just a second when I get done with this article. How bad St. Louis cops get hired even after screwing up. This article is going to detail a lot of cops in the area who have committed said crimes against civilians. Feel free to check out the content by riverfronttimes.com. In the summer of 2022, 33-year-old Marcellus Blackwell graduated from the police academy at Lincoln University to more public fanfare than the average police cadet. Blackwell was a part of the fourth class at the Missouri State University's Police Academy, the first of its kind at a historically Black university. It had been established as a way to bring more people of color into the ranks of policing, an ethos that Blackwell himself spoke to when he was interviewed about his time in the academy a few months before graduating. He told the Jefferson City CBS affiliate that growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, the police force was 90 to 95% white, and he never saw officers who looked like him. It was that disparity that motivated him to get into law enforcement. It's an opportunity to address the quality of life issues in the Black community, Blackwell added. It's an opportunity to be part of the change. After graduation, Blackwell got hired as an officer in the North County Police Cooperative, an entity established in 2015 that serves 8 small municipalities in North St. Louis County. He started walking the beat on the last day of May 2022. Within a year's time, Blackwell would gain to be in the headlines for his work as a cop. This time, it wasn't good. On June 3rd, Blackwell allegedly arrested a man for unlawful possession of a weapon and driving with a revoked license. Blackwell handcuffed him and drove him to the Normandy High School bus lot. While the man was still handcuffed, Blackwell fondled him for an extended period of time under the auspice of searching him again. It's crazy. Blackwell filmed at least a portion of the assault and at one point put his cell phone down the man's pants. He pulled the man's penis and stroked it. The assault went on for approximately 10 minutes, after which Blackwell took the man to jail and acted as if everything about the arrest had been normal. So this is crazy to me. The man's handcuffed. They're over at a bus parking lot. He puts the cell phone down his pants, pulls the man's private part out and stroked it. This went on for about 10 minutes. Then he took the man on to jail as if nothing happened. In the months that followed, it would become clear the sexual assault was not an isolated incident. Blackwell's phone showed numerous other videos he'd taken of himself fondling arrestees, suggesting a serial predator abusing the power of the badge to terrorize the very community he once told the TV reporter he wanted to help. Wow, wow. What a mess. 1 second. I'm going to show you a picture of this goon. Hold on, you guys. That's a picture of Mr. Blackwell. Yeah. Oh, wow. A 2019 nationwide survey found that about 3 out of 4 law enforcement agencies reported difficulty recruiting qualifying candidates to fill their ranks, and roughly the same number said that attracting quality personnel had gotten more difficult in the last 5 years. The reasons behind the difficulties are complex. Some are not at all specific to policing. The report compiled by the International Association of Police Chiefs says that one contributor was that the generation entering the workforce tends to want the sort of work-life balance that policing is ill-equipped to provide. Other shifts in U.S. culture, such as student loan debt, childcare challenges for complex schedules, and the need to double incomes make police work a stressful occupation for families today, the report says. And that's probably because policing doesn't pay anything, such as like social work. So they need to change that, pay the officers more money. Then there are the policing specific factors particularly the changing public attitudes about the profession. A Gallup poll taken earlier this year found that only 43% of Americans have a great deal or quite a lot of trust in police, an erosion of confidence in the institution that has made fewer people interested in becoming officers. Policing took a real shot after Ferguson, says Tim Mayer, a former police officer and professor of criminology and criminal justice at the University of Missouri, St. Louis, whose research focuses on policing. Mayer says that when the police and labor market tightened, it was the small, unfunded departments that bore the brunt of the squeeze, an effect that was particularly potent locally. St. Louis is a unique environment in that we have so many small municipalities, and that creates a problem in that they're all vying for the same people, said Mayer. He adds sometimes they tend to lower the bar a little bit. It wasn't just Blackwell who took advantage of that. So then they go on to talk about Eddie Boyd III. It says he assaulted one of the men he arrested in his headquarters at the Berkeley Police Department. This article just goes on to talk about other officers. So right now we're going to focus on Mr. Blackwell. What in the hell is his problem? Groping men. Groping men, then he filmed them. That's even more crazy. You're touching the men while handcuffed. They can't fight back, which he knew that. He knew what he was doing. And then pulling out one man's private part, stroking it, went on for about 10 minutes. He puts the camera, the phone, I'm assuming on camera, down the man's britches. This is crazy to me. So now the city will have to pay out money to all these men that he has groped. And right now, it's a 36 count from what this article says. If you need verification, riverfronttimes.com is the source. Well, about the St. Louis incident, his background is mentioned in this commentary. This all started, he was 33 years of age. Marcellus Blackwell attended Lincoln University, historically Black university at that. He even told a reporter he wanted to be, helpful to the community. And this is how he pays the community back, by groping men. This is bad. This is real bad. Well, I'm going through these comments because this is just ridiculous. I know, Hagen. All this is ridiculous. I'm just going through erasing all this nonsense because it's just stupid. Hagen, I'm going to call you right quick. Hold on one second. See what's going on. 4-part live, everybody. Abortion pill, now available at CVS and Walgreens in the states that apply. Trinity Clark out of Knoxville, Tennessee, being rearrested for driving down the wrong way. She also will be going to trial for the murder of an elderly 65-year-old male and injuring some children in a car wreck last year. She was drag racing with another black male down Magnolia Avenue. Puff Diddy, new allegations. Meek Mill has responded that they are not true. His son has responded that the allegations are not true. It's just a big mess. Big mess. Thank you all for joining me. You do one.
Hello.
Hey, you got time to talk?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's start with number one, Trinity Clark. She was drag racing last year down Magnolia Avenue in East Knoxville. She was accused again of driving down the wrong way. They say something about revoked suspended license. Give me your opinion on that subject matter.
The woman's a mess. She shouldn't be out on the road.
22 years old, 22 years of age too. She's young.
But the problem is, the more that they go after her, the more she finds a way to sue them for money.
Well, this is what I don't understand. Why the bond wasn't revoked?
Yeah.
The bond should have been revoked. I should have said that earlier. The bond should have been revoked because she's already killed a man. She and the other guy who were driving. They both were drag racing down the street. So a man died. So when she got rearrested a week or so ago, you should have revoked the bond. Why would you let her go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like vehicular manslaughter.
It's 3 charges.
Yeah.
Of murder, even though only one person died.
Yeah. She should have never have been out on the street, period.
Yeah.
But that's the way our legal system rolls.
Yeah. And they make money, see. Every time you let them stay free, that's more money in the court because now, you got to keep paying.
Yeah.
That's money. That's money in their pocket. But my thing is, she's not going to pay you anything if she gets time for the murder of the elderly man plus the other assault charges, for injuring those kids. She'll be locked up for a while. You're not going to get any money from her. How are you going to get any money?
Well, I understand that, but at the same time, with those kind of charges, she doesn't need to be roaming free either.
Well, and they let her go. That's the part I don't understand. Why is she free?
They do that all the time, though. I mean, it's crazy.
Especially with drinking and driving. So long as they can make that bond, they'll let you ride around. Whether the license is suspended, revoked, they'll still let you bond out on those drinking and driving charges and vehicular homicide if you can make the bond. What I want to know is, was she drunk when they saw her driving down the wrong road? Because there are a lot of one-ways over there at UT, because it's a small campus, and then it also borders Cumberland Avenue, and that's a main drag of restaurants, eateries, apartment buildings, hotels. So there are a lot of one-ways over there because the campus is not real big. I mean, it's spread out, but, they got a lot of one-ways by the dorms and stuff. So I'm wondering if she decided, well, I'll go down this one way to try to bypass, get closer to another street or a parking lot to park her car, because it's a place where the kids like to party over there on Cumberland.
Yeah, but if she was familiar with the area, wouldn't she know it was a one-way?
Yeah. That's why I said she probably was either drunk, didn't care, like she didn't care when she went and did that drag racing, or she was probably trying to, save time to go around to another street where she could cross over and get into maybe a parking lot or something and went down the one way. I don't know. It's still ignorant either way. It doesn't really matter about the reason. It's wrong to go down a one-way street.
I don't understand how she was driving with the charges. I mean, if anything, they would have been like, they should have been like, you don't get in, you are not to be behind the wheel of a vehicle, period.
Well, but see, that's the whole point.
But
the only way she could get remanded as far as driving, period, she'd have to have an ankle bracelet on. That's what they should have given her to give her a curfew. You can't drive past 10, 11 o'clock. You got to find your job that's 9 to 5. And then let's say at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., you're not allowed to be out unless it's an emergency. You go into the emergency room. See what I'm saying? That's what they should have given her, was an ankle bracelet. I would also make sure she had a device to put in her car to make sure she doesn't drink and drive.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Abortion pill, now available at CVS and Walgreens in applicable states.
It depends on which side of the fence you want to play on that one.
I'm just asking. I mean, I'm not asking you, are you going to take it? I'm just saying. I'm just giving your opinion. How do you feel about it? Because, got that Roe versus Wade. A lot of states now, it's illegal to get an abortion. So, just asking, how do you feel about the morning after pill being sold in the CVS and Walgreens? That's all.
I don't think it should be available like that unless you get a prescription from a doctor.
Why? Why not?
Well,
it's been tested. Obviously. Just like the medicine you get at the pharmacy. But it doesn't mean that it'll work for you. It doesn't mean that you won't have side effects. It's like anything. There's always side effects. Well, just tell me why. Go ahead. Just tell me why it shouldn't be at the.
People need to be careful and not be doing things spontaneously.
So now we got to ask this: how much is the morning after pill? Because that article didn't state how much the pill runs.
Or if your insurance will cover it, or
well, you're buying, honey, sweetheart, you're buying it at the store.
Oh yeah, but if it's at the pharmacy, I'm assuming maybe
They didn't say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, let's go here.
There's so many other things.
Listen, because I see you all over the place right now. Should it be at the pharmacy or in a box where it's locked and you just say, I want the pill, and they unlock the box and you buy the pill? Like when you buy the cold medicine. It needs to be
at the pharmacy under prescription.
Okay.
Because what's to say it doesn't mess with other medications? I think there should be some rules and regulations with that, you know. I don't want to strip away people's rights about things, but you know.
Yeah, because it didn't say if it was going to be pharmacy only or they'll have it in a locked box and you can just ask for it, like you get the cold medicine. Because you know, like at Walgreens pharmacies, because of the meth problems, they had all that stuff locked up. You have to get an attendant, you know, to open the box to get cold medicine. So I'm wondering if it's going to be in a locked box or you can only buy it from the pharmacy. And then how much will it cost, this morning pill? Ooh, blonde beard, my goodness. Jesus.
I guess it would all depend on the need or the want or...
Well, somebody in the audience is hippies talking about children buying it. Children buying the pill. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's why I think it needs some kind of regulation to it. Like you have to show ID, you have to be a certain age, or you need a prescription or something.
Yemi says we already have it in Chicago and locked boxes at Walgreens and other stores. So locked boxes then. So you won't have to go to the pharmacy, perhaps. Interesting. I'll do another video because I said I was going to do a video about abortion rights anyway, since Roe versus Wade got overturned. So I'll do another video and then we'll talk about that. Children going in. So I already know what you're going to say about children going in naturally to go. Will you have to show ID to go to the locked boxes, let's say, or the pharmacy to buy the pill?
I would hope so. That's like when you get certain cold medicines, you have to show ID and sign for it. So it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, some kind of regulation or, you know, that way it doesn't, I don't know.
Well, but it's already in the store. So what are you talking about, regulation?
Well, I mean, like regulated
ID.
So that.
Well, I think they probably already got it set up. Don't you think they already got it set up that you're going to have ID? You're going to have to show that you're over the age of 18. So either you'll be buying it at the pharmacy, you'll be buying it in.
Now I'm going to have to go to the pharmacy and look.
But in your state, you got to see if your state even has the right to abort. Because if your state don't have the right, you're not going to have the pill. The pill's not going to be in the CVS or the Walgreens. What are you saying, hippie? You don't have to right now. What? Buy it at the pharmacy? Aren't you in North Carolina? Because hippie's in North Carolina too, I think. All right, let's go to subject number 3, Puff Diddy and all these allegations.
See, I don't know. I wasn't there, but at the same time, is it a money grab? We don't know, but I don't understand why people want to do this unless they want their name out there for some reason.
Okay. Well, the guy says he owes him money from working on the album. He didn't get paid appropriately. Then he also brings forward allegations of groping inappropriately. He lived with him for a year. He woke up in the bed with him and 2 men, and that he was drugged allegedly.
Well, see, you could look at that a couple different ways. He could be mad because he wasn't paid for his work. And so he went on to say some other things.
That are true or not true? Not true, you mean? He's mad because he didn't get paid, so now I'm going to make up these lies that he assaulted me, groped me, drugged me.
Yeah, because maybe he's doing that because there was other supposed allegations that were just paid off or swept under the rug.
Well, let's go here. Why would a man be living with another man? I found that very strange. I don't think he made that.
Well, That I don't know, unless it was just more convenient for the person to be at the house for whatever he was working.
So I thought about that, but let's be truthful. Do you know how many people have recording studios in their homes or have their own recording studio, you know, at a different location? It is your responsibility to make it to that location to do the business of music, blah, blah, blah. You don't move into someone's house just so you can make music. Think about all the music studios in the world, all the music houses that have music studios. You want that?
Yes.
Why would I be living with you?
Well, see, I don't understand that either, unless the man was, you know, coming in from another state or another country, or, and then still, you know, he should be in a motel or hotel.
You know damn well he wasn't coming from another country. This is right here in America. You know.
I know that. I'm just.
Ooh, y'all making this live hard, I swear. She says you don't have to show ID. Anyone age can legally buy it over the counter in North Carolina. She said you don't even have to show ID, Hippie says.
Oh Lord.
That's deep. Now we have to ask, well, Hippie, how much is the pill? Tell us how much the pill is. If you can Google it, tell us how much. I should have brought that information. I just assumed it was going to be in the article. How much the pill is. That's interesting. Okay, so we talked about Trinity Clark. We talked about the abortion pill. Now we talk about Puff Diddy. Do you believe the allegations that Cassie made, the girl that dated him for many years? She met him as a young girl. She was 19, he was 37, a major age difference. Sex workers, he brought sex workers into the equation, allegedly beat her up frequently in a year's time. They were together about 13 or so years. Give me your synopsis on that. And the fact that he paid her one day after she brought forward the lawsuit.
I have questions about why they separated or didn't stay together.
I just told you. She left him.
Did she actually have proof of what she was saying, though?
Yeah, there's a girl who, another young lady who wrote a letter to him about the allegations of being around and hearing her tell her that he was hurting her and the sex worker business and whatever.
Uh-huh. Well, then he paid her to keep her quiet.
One day later.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. A person pays the lawsuit, whether 1 day, 5 days, 1 year. Do you feel like that's an admission of guilt?
No. Not all the time.
Okay, Happy Hippie says it's $40 to $50 for one pill. Okay, Hippie, how many pills do you have to take in order to abort the fetus? I'm curious about that. Well, explain that to me, because most people are going to say, you know, it's going to be a lot of money more than likely. Probably a couple million he paid. Why give a person a couple $1 million if I didn't do what they accused me of doing? Now he's got more allegations coming from other people. It's a total of 5 now. So think about that. You paid her 1 day after the lawsuit got on the books. Now you got other people accusing you of the same thing. What are you going to do? You're going to pay them too and then still say, well, I didn't do anything.
Well, you know, the problem is we don't know what evidence they have. Like, is there actual evidence of this?
Videos.
Or is this
Some people have some videos, yes, of him showing sex with other people. I guess the men, the sex workers, or whomever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the burden of proof on that, how do we know they're sex workers? How do we know they're not just random people that like P. Diddy?
Well, unless they got conversation of somebody making a transaction, this is going to cost you 50, 100, 300. I don't know.
Yeah. It's crazy because you just don't know if people are going after folks for money or if it's actually true. I mean,
well, let me ask you this. I don't know if you stay abreast of hip hop music or whatever. Do you believe he's a closet homosexual, Diddy?
I don't know.
Okay. Have you ever heard the rumors that he was?
No.
Okay. Well, there are allegations of Meek Mill and Usher mentioned in his affidavit from this Lil Rod person who's suing him, that those are the two people Diddy told him he's been with. How about that?
Well, I'm surprised on Usher, but
why? Because Usher don't strike you as the type.
Exactly.
Okay. Hippie says it says 1 to 2 pills within 72 hours of unsafe conduct, no more than 2. Okay, Hippie, thank you for that. Thank you. Okay. So at least 2 pills within 72 hours of unsafe conduct. Interesting. $50. So you're going to be about $100-something to take the 2 pills in case you think you're pregnant. Okay. We'll talk about that Monday. I'll let that be Monday's discussion. We'll talk about the pill. I mean, and we'll talk about that and abortion rights in one live stream.
Well, see, that's like when they overturned all that. I was like, really? We have more important things to worry with right now.
Well, you see, the ranks of our political politicians who are against abortion, that's all it took. You know, there's always been, not condoned by a lot of Republican parties, individuals. So Supreme Court probably had more Republican judges. That's all it took.
Yeah.
You got the vote. You got the vote in.
I mean, when they overturned it, we had like a lot of things going on with, weapons and schools. Yeah. And I'm like, why are we worried with that?
Yeah. And now you see Tennessee passed a new law where a person don't have to officiate same-sex marriage or any marriage for that matter. Just any marriage, they don't have to. My thing is this, like I said in the live stream last week, I wouldn't be arguing with somebody if I said, hey, me and Pookie want to get married or Bob want to get married, and the person says, well, no, I don't want to officiate. What am I going to do? Get mad? What am I going to do? Tie them up, beat them up? You know what I'm saying? Then I just go find somebody else.
Yeah, and the thing is, why wouldn't you officiate that? Because you're going to get paid, so...
Well, now the law says a person can turn down anyone. It doesn't specify same sex. It just says whomever the couple, whomever they are, a person can deny marriage. Now, where that's going to be a big problem is the courthouse, because it says any officiant. So that's the courthouse, that's a rabbi, that's a preacher, pastor, whomever. So now imagine going into court, to the courtroom, because it says any officiant. So will also the courthouse be stipulated as the same? You go to court,
I think so.
You and the 2 guys go into court, 2 women go into court, say you want to get married, and then the person says, I don't want to do it.
See, I don't see why there's a problem there.
Or it could be a black man and a white woman standing there. See where I'm going?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with anyone getting married as long as it's, legal in your state or...
Yeah. Well, you're not listening. I just said it's a new law.
I know.
That the person can deny officiating any marriage. So that's what I'm saying is, what about the courthouse? Because that's a legal place where you get the license and all of that.
Yeah.
Does it apply also to the courthouse? So let's say a man walks in with another man, or a white man walks in with an Asian woman. Could the person say, I don't want to officiate the ceremony? Does the courthouse
I'm
also
guessing
apply?
So, but that's going to put a dent in their pocketbook.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Me asking some random person is totally different than me going to the courthouse, because that's a state building, a city building, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out how would that work, because anybody can look up and be like, I don't like the way he look, I don't like her, oh, they're different races. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to officiate.
Well, hopefully they have more than one in that building.
And I was thinking about that too, because many years ago, we had an issue in East Tennessee of the woman who was working in the courthouse, and she didn't want to officiate the 2 men getting married. And that was a legal city courthouse, town courthouse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've seen where you have the bakeries that don't want to do the same-sex marriage wedding cakes and stuff. And I'm like, well, there
I mentioned that. And that's what I said. I wouldn't get mad about that. I go to the bakery. She says, no, I will not, make a cake for 2 men, 2 women. Then I walk out. I'm not going to sit here and argue with her or him about their bakery. Just leave it alone. But then that's the flip of that. How far do we go with that? One day it's the same sex, and the next day it's I don't want an Asian in here buying a cake, or I don't want a black man in here buying a cake. See where I'm going? I don't want a Jew in here buying a cake. I don't want to make a cake with the Star David on it. See where I'm going?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes down rabbit holes of, that's what I don't understand, how an entity can say, I don't want to because of, like, when you're hired, is it in, your application to say that you have to be this, or that, and you can't do this, and that?
And that's why I was saying, if you start off, okay, let's just say I'm not into homosexuality. So you come in here and you ask me to bake a cake with 2 men, 2 women. I tell you no. My thing is, it can go farther than that, from homosexuality to religious. The person might want to put church of such and such on the cake, or see where I'm going? Might want to put the Star David on the cake, and then somebody's like, oh no, I'm not into the Jewish faith. I don't believe in this. It can go way down into the rabbit hole. Because first it can start off with just religious. Well, I don't agree with this religion, so I don't want to do this. Then it goes from that to, well, I don't believe in same sex, so no, I'm not going to bake a cake for 2 women. Okay, so then you go from 2 women to religion to what's next. See where I'm going? Then it goes to race. Well, you black, I don't want to bake a cake for you. Okay, you Jewish, I don't want to bake a cake for you. You Asian, I don't want to bake a cake for you. So it'll just you can just turn down a whole lot of folks for different reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I say they shouldn't allow it to be that way, because, or if nothing else, if you don't feel that you should bake a cake for these people, say, I don't have time, but I can suggest, or here's another bakery that might be able to help you. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to. I don't know. I don't think it's right that they say no, but at the same time, you got to understand, you are in a business where you're working for the public. The public is what pays your bills.
Okay. Well, 4th subject of the hour. Black man, 34 years of age, 36 count indictment of groping men in his detainment while being a police officer. Putting his phone down one of the men's pants. He pulled over to a bus lot to do his dirty deeds, groped the man's penis for about 10 minutes or so, and then took him to the jail. That's deep. Let me say something about this. What is bothersome about this is, naturally the obvious. But to take somebody out of the way, because naturally he didn't want to be seen, so he had to have been alone. Because I asked that question. Was he alone during all these groping incidents? Obviously he was. Was he profiling men, period, to just arrest? Because we also hear that he falsified documents and police reports. Okay. So you're groping, you're fishing, you're profiling, you're alone, you're touching inappropriately. How many times he's done it? Has he done it to other civilians that weren't in custody? Are we going to hear that there are other people who have allegations of him possibly forcibly rape of men? Obviously, he's gay, but is he perpetrating as a straight man? And how do you just go up, got somebody detained, and just start stroking their penis? I'm just sitting here, when I read it, I was stunned, like, you don't know this man from Adam, which we know people have had flings with people. You don't really know what their hygiene is like down there till you put your clothes off. But you see where I'm going. You are an officer of the court, of the law, and you are pulling someone over out of the way where you can't be seen and just pulling their pants down, unzipping their pants, and touching their penis. I'm thinking to myself, what was the man thinking while he's standing there doing that? This is crazy to me. This is crazy.
And I would think he's done that in his private life, but not gotten caught. But now that he is out there in the news, that maybe other people will come forward.
Well, you got 36 counts right now.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
One bad apple.
But I'm just in my mind, when I was reading it, I said to myself, wait a minute, wait. How do you grope the men? Because first thing I was thinking, a lot of times officers have a partner. So a partner is not going to stand here and watch you unzip a man's pants and stroke the penis for 10 minutes. Because I'd be looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? So
not all the time do they have partners, though.
Hagen, I know that. I'm saying I couldn't see him doing that with a partner. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't see him doing that with a partner unless he had a dirty partner. So that's what I'm saying. All these incidents, assumingly, would be without a partner. But still, you're pulling the person over to an undisclosed place. They're probably asking, hey, where are we going? Why are we parking here? And then you get out of your car. You got to open the back door, unzip the man's pants. Wouldn't the man be trying to, fight him off or wrangle with him, depending on if his hands are handcuffed in the front, handcuffed in the back? Naturally, handcuffed in the back, can't do anything but wriggle around. And then unzip the man's pants. I'm just trying to, it's visually in my mind, just role play this out. What is the person doing who he's assaulting? That's all I'm saying.
Probably not wanting to get any more charges, so he's obeying or standing there thinking, oh my God, what's going on here?
Yeah, because I doubt that he's pulling them out of the car. He's doing it with them sitting in the backseat of the car.
Yeah. Unless he's doing it before, like when he takes them to the back of the police car and he makes them put their hands over their head and searches them to make sure they have nothing.
Well, there's one instance, they said he pulled over to like a bus depot. So that means he had to park the car.
Yeah.
So he had to have gotten out of the car because, they have the partition in the cars. He couldn't have done it from sitting in front of the car. He had to have pulled the car over, got out of the car and walked to the back and opened the door to follow the man.
Yes.
That's bizarre to me.
I bet these people were very scared and going, oh my God, because if they moved too much or attempted to say anything, that could be said it was like... There's
also an article I meant to read that he went to the jail to bother one of the detainees while on the clock, I guess. So I'm trying to understand that. Okay, he's arrested one of the men, and now you're going over to wherever he is, in the jail, to do what now?
And he's just a patrol officer. He's not a detective or anything like that.
Yeah, patrol, I guess.
Oh, Lord.
Former cop.
Well, yeah. That doesn't sound right either.
What do you mean? What don't sound right, Hagen?
Him just being a patrolman going in to bother the detainee in the jail.
Well, that's what I read. I guess it was to intimidate him, I guess. To intimidate him.
Yeah.
Not to say anything. Well, some men have come forward.
Now that it's come out and people are speaking, he better get ready. That rotten apple is going underneath.
Well, I wonder if he's also now in isolation, in a cell by himself, doesn't come out. They don't let him out to mingle.
That would have to happen because he was a former police officer.
Because another thing about the doors, when they hit the button for them to open the doors, they unlock all the doors to the cell. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if there's a button where you can make sure that one cell door doesn't open, and so nobody can walk in there and try to, you know what I'm saying, do anything to him.
Yeah, unless it's a different pod or a different section of the building, like isolation, you know, where they have to use a key to open certain doors. Because he would have to be in isolation.
Yeah, but I'm just saying all jails are made different. What I'm saying is there's
Yeah.
a button you push with all the doors pop open at one time, like when it's time for them to go to break, go to shower. So anybody could walk by, see him sitting in there, they could just swing the door open and walk in and start beating him up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I was watching there's a news report about a case, and the guy was in isolation, and it was a one cell with one door, and it had a slot like you could put their meal tray through, and they were using a key to open and close the door, but it wasn't bars, it was a metal door with just one slot. So I'm figuring he would be in a place like that probably 23 hours a day.
Well, we know they can use,
I don't know.
and true, yes, we know they can, I'm assuming to probably use keys to come in case of an emergency. They probably have keys to pop the locks open to do the meds and things like that. This is baffling to me because this goes to show you have a lot of people who are just dirty, and it doesn't matter what their occupation is. You've heard of women being sexually assaulted while being detained, while being asked questions. We've heard of people being robbed, the cops taking their money, their jewelry. We've heard of cops taking monies off of dope dealers, confiscating their dope and their money and their jewelry. So this is just another abuse of power by one man who, was new to being a cop. And it's just like, this makes me wonder, the lies he's told a reporter, I want to help the community. I want to be of service to the community. I want to be something different than what I saw growing up. Because where I lived, I didn't see any, black cops, but just white cops. Okay, now you're that dirty cop groping men sexually, which leads me to believe, you're a homosexual. And possibly, he probably was a closet homosexual. He probably didn't even let people know he was gay. And this is his way of getting his follies off. You know what I'm saying?
It could be. It could also be just, an abuse of power, like I am and you aren't kind of thing.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but it's a man, though. Why would I want to stick my finger up a man's tail and grope his penis if I'm a straight man?
Because you have the power.
Okay.
I mean, there could be 100 different reasons.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, it seems to me, a lot of times when they're bad apples, when it comes to the cops, they show force, they show power.
Well, that's usually the reason why most of them want to become cops anyway, is because they have, control issues. They're narcissists. Usually they're narcissists. They never had control in their lives. So this is their way of gaining control, is to become, police officer, military officer, security officer. You see a lot of men who weren't allowed the opportunity to become cops, they go into private security. I've heard that a lot. Yeah. When they go ham and they pop off, that's the first thing you hear is, oh, he did ROTC in high school and he went to the academy and he wasn't accepted. So he became a security officer. They're looking for that identity. And we learned that with the little guy that, did that shooting in Wisconsin. I believe he was an ROTC in high school and he wanted to be a cop. And then when those riots broke out, this was his opportunity, to exact power.
Yes. That's why you kind of there could be 100 different reasons. But either way, there's bad apples and everything.
Yeah, but I guess that's what I was mainly focusing my head with, to the obvious. He's probably, a closet homosexual, and this is his way of getting off while on duty. You know what I'm saying? While on duty.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that, and I was also thinking the power get up thing,
because they also said he made up reports. So that goes to show your profiling.
Yes.
You got to get out, ride around, see something you like. Oh, I like him. Let me now find a way to pull him over, detain him. So that would lead that it is even more than just a control thing. That yeah, it's profiling because that's who you are. You like men. You're a sadist. So you eye this person. He's eye candy to you. Okay, let me now find out a way to get him detained so I can now sexually assault him.
Yeah. Because when you run that tag, everything's got to probably come up because they have them little computers sitting right there.
Yeah, and he's probably stopping people that's on foot. I won't doubt that a lot of these people he probably stopped on foot because that would be more profiling. Besides, they do profile by cars and what a car looks like, and if it's got the big rims, you think, oh, it must be a dope dealer. But let's just say he's stopping most of these people that probably weren't even driving because I didn't find out if they were driving or not. But I won't doubt some of these people probably were actually on foot. He saw them hanging around at the corner store or walking out of a store. Okay, here's my opportunity. Let me go over to him and detain him, ask him what he's doing, or you fit the profile of a suspect that robbed a store, or I think you were lottering. It's probably just some old petty shit he put on the police reports just so he could get them in the squad car so he could touch them.
Yes. And that would lead me to the next thing of, is it possible he was stalking some of them?
I don't know. Could be. Didn't think about that. Yeah, could be. Because he's showing sadist behavior.
Yeah.
And that's one of the signs of sadist behavior. Yes, is stalking the victim. So he could have been walking around, driving around, seeing a guy that worked at the Burger King. He's getting off shift. Now here's my opportunity to approach him. Very interesting.
Or he's watched him for a while, figured out possibly where he lives, what way he takes home, especially if he's walking.
Or getting off
and
the
he
bus.
may have approached them before he
exactly. That's
did
a good
whatever
point too.
he did.
That's a good point too. Maybe he has. Maybe he has seen them before, approached them before, saw them involved in something pertaining to somebody else. Okay, now here's my opportunity to approach him, get him alone, put him in the car, fabricate a report, and then touch him while frisking him, because I'm sure he did that too during the frisk thing, and then picking and choosing who he wanted to go take to a secluded place. Now we got to ask that question. How many did he take to a secluded place, such as the one guy he took to the bus depot?
I'd say at least half of them.
Okay.
Because first of all, he has to know the area he's playing in. We'll say it like that. So, I mean, he would know the areas that nobody's watching or no one's paying attention to.
But that's crazy too, because a depot that has buses, whether it's school buses or transportation buses, they have cameras on the property. So this is what's even more crazy. You're stupid enough to be on the clock, parking in a bus depot parking lot, as if this place doesn't have cameras, to sit here and fondle a man, grope a man, sexually assault a man, and camera. How do you know a person's not in the business, sitting behind a desk, looking at the camera, wondering, what the hell is this cop doing? This man is crazy. For a 33-year-old, 34-year-old, he's crazy.
Some people may look up and see that there's a cop in the screen and be like, oh, it's a cop, and then go on about their life, too.
Yeah, that's true. But the one thing we've learned with the sadists, they take risks. They're brazen. They take risks. It doesn't matter if it's daytime, nighttime. I'm in authority position. I can do what I want. And maybe he felt like that. Nobody's going to care tonight. Got this car pulled over. Or however it was. I got this guy pulled over. I'm going to go in the back seat, start touching him. But I would be afraid also somebody walking up, running up, driving up. And what if another officer drives up? Now this man is indisposed. How are you going to explain this man sitting there with his penis out?
No, you could always say you arrested him on indecent exposure, unless you're talking about the cop.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He's going to think to himself, his pants probably would have been zipped up before you put him in the car. Why is his pants unzipped? And why are you back here with him with his pants unzipped? Because you could still see once you pull up. If you stand up and get out of the way, he'd have to hurry up and shut the door really quick. And then he'd have to say, well, what's going on? Why are you back there? He'd have to make up something quick. and say what? Oh, he was beating his head or beating his knees into the seat.
Yeah. There would have to be an excuse, and then
we don't want them in the military, hippie. We don't want them in the military. That would make no sense.
No.
We say send the violent ones to the military. That's probably not a good idea either, because people have said that, oh, you like shooting, bang, 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 go join the military. But my thing is that propensity means they're probably killing the wrong person, such as their own. But these aren't the type of people you want in the military, because we have enough of those problems. And I said I was going to do a video about that too, abuse in the military, because that needs to be addressed.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I just called you to get your input on these 4 topics at hand, and I also need to bring an update pertaining to that lady who had that home of the elderly, the disabled adults that they found were in squalor conditions. I brought that live about a week or so ago. She has given her commentary and spoken out against the allegations against her. And I was going to read that one day to the chat pertaining to her allegations. I may do that after this, after I cut you off. But yeah, she's spoken. She's probably denying it. But my thing is, if the house was filthy and they weren't fed properly, somebody from that house called on her. So
yeah, they had to have.
Thank you, Brooke. Hey, Brooke. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, hippie. Anything else you want to add pertaining to these subject matters?
For the trolls, they need to go away, because I will find a way to stop them.
Honey, I couldn't even read kept pushing. I'm like, this just messes up the live stream, because I'm having to navigate. Now, certain topics or comments, YouTube would, douse them out on their own. I didn't have to touch them, especially if it's anything derogatory, racist, whatever, monitors it. But then there's other little comments I had to go in and try to delete while I'm sitting here bringing you all the commentary. And I'm just like, it throws the momentum off. I'll be trying to read the information and look back at the camera. It's just like, okay, I don't have time for this. This is way too much.
Exactly, because I'm sitting there listening, taking in what you're saying while I'm reading, and I'm like,
the comments, yeah, because a lot of people like reading the comments when they're listening to the commentary. Then some people just like to listen to the host or hostess without, reading the comments.
Mm-hmm. I just like to see what everyone's opinions and thoughts are.
Hey, Jew.
Because I know that most people have different thoughts or ideas. So,
well, I thank you for listening. I thank you for tuning in, because I'm going to get off here and get me some dinner. But I thank you for giving your commentary. But next week I'm going to talk about the abortion rights and and that pill, and I'll just do a live stream pertaining to that.
Yeah, you missed dinner.
Well, this live is 2 hours long already. I'm 2 hours and 12 minutes in, so it gets long when you're talking about different subject matters. Then see, all those articles were long. All that stuff about Puff Diddy and the allegations, they were long. The cut, that was a long article bringing you all the allegations by the people who are accusing him of sexual assault and abuse. But you said you don't know if you believe the allegations or not, right?
I'm on the fence, because it's like, you know what? Is it for the purpose of getting money, or is it?
What if it's true? What if it is? Hell yeah! I didn't say nothing about it a long time ago. I didn't want retaliation, and hell yeah, he touched me, groped me, drugged me, and hell yeah, I want some money.
Well, yeah, that's the other side of it. It could be true. And if so, they should have spoken out before this, I would think.
But he's famous. And a lot of people are going to speak out against famous people, because this is one thing people have to understand when they judge people who don't come out. Regular people don't come out and mention sexual assault being groped. Because just like with this dirty cop, you have men who would just go up to a woman and grope her, whether at the job, work, a bar. Think about it. Women get groped all the time. And there's probably some men that do it on men too. And they don't say nothing. They don't go file a police report. They don't call the police. But now imagine a person is famous. Who's going to believe me? See where I'm going?
Yeah.
And especially if the people are thinking this man is a straight man, why are they going to believe me saying he drugged me, he groped me, he sexually assaulted me, or he beat me up? Because we have an allegation from a man saying that he got beat up by him and some of his entourage in a studio. working for Puff Diddy, that they came in, something about a movie, and he didn't like the scene that the guy filmed or something, so they went in later and beat him up. So see, I ain't gonna say nothing because I don't want no more problems out this man. I know he's got weight in town. He could find some goons to get me, kind of like the R. Kelly situation. I ain't gonna say nothing because he's famous. Who's gonna believe he can have any woman he wants? Why is somebody gonna believe he tried to sexually assault me or coerce me into sex with other people, other men, other women?
Yeah.
I mean, people assaulted every day. Children assaulted every day. They don't ever tell on their abusers. So in the same instance, it's really the same. Because regular people don't tell on regular people. So why would you think they would tell on somebody famous?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's just a messed up all the way around, really.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, I'll bring an update to see what happens. We'll see if he settles, don't settle. We'll see if somebody else jumps out the clown car to say he touched them. Oh, man. If there's one more person, it's going to be like, oh, my goodness. But it's just like I said, true or not, it's not going to be good if you start paying the people off.
Yeah.
You pay that girl off one day later. How's it going to look now you pay somebody else off? Because then that means anybody could come up and say, well, in 1988 or 1998, he touched me. He pushed me up against a wall. He pulled my skirt up at a bar or a restaurant. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Say, what, hippie? Are you sad, queen? What are you talking about, hippie? All right, I'm out of here.
All right, you have a good night.
You too, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Before I check out of here, I'm going to bring you an update to a story I briefly mentioned during one of the live streams. It was a story that wasn't my direct commentary for that live, but I mentioned it anyway because we were talking about probably abusive corpse. It's probably during the live stream where I talked about the guy having a woman in a hearse for 2 years, and 30 bodies were found on a property where he was renting, and he was evicted from the property. So when he got evicted, that's when the bodies were discovered. I'm going to go and talk about a story I mentioned during that live stream. Thank you for joining me. Hold on one second, everybody. I'm going to pull that up, bring you that update, and then I'm going to check out of here. Hope you all are well. Oh, I mean, well, what makes you think I'm sad? I don't understand what you're saying. Why would you ask me that? I'm not sad about anything. I'm tired of having to keep running over here, dealing with all these ignorant comments because it's time consuming. Please go back to the beginning of this live stream to get the said information pertaining to Trinity Clark, the abortion pill sold at CBS and Walgreens in certain towns and cities. Puff Diddy debacle, Meek Mill, allegations of the son also being involved in some of these allegations. Mr. Rod bringing forward allegations against Puff Diddy. You're entitled to your opinion. Also, my last commentary is pertaining to Marcellus Blackwell. He's a former cop being accused of sexually groping 19 men. He has a 36-count indictment against him. That is the last subject matter during this commentary. And please check out my other videos in the queue pertaining to Wendy Williams, what will become of Wendy Williams and this guardianship. Those are the said commentaries I've discussed in the past week. Now I'm looking forward to this information about this lady who had a group home of disabled individuals, and someone from that home called in saying that they were living in deplorable conditions, and she has spoken out about her arrest. 1 second, just scrolling through here. And should Trinity Clark been given, maybe put on an ankle monitor or a curfew since she was rearrested a week ago for driving down a one-way over there, UT Strip? Just curious. Should she have a monitor, ankle monitor, and also should she also have a breathalyzer put in her car? Because I'm wondering if she was under the influence. They didn't say that she was drunk, but I'm just curious. because that area is known for college students. People going over there to party on the weekend, and students go over there and party. So I'm just curious if maybe she was drinking, because she fits the criteria of the age group of young people that frequent the area, besides, UT students. Oh, thank you, Hippie. Thank you, Hippie. I appreciate it, honey. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you, sweetheart. All right, everybody. And once again, 2 men have been found guilty in the murder of Jam Master Jay. Brought you that information. Also brought you information pertaining to the U.S. airman who unalived himself in front of the embassy, the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. That was my live stream for last Sunday. Please check out that commentary. And I've got a lot of commentary right now in the queue about Wendy Williams. And also check out my commentary about a grandmother who killed her son a few months ago. She's out on bond and she's told not to have any weapons. Was it self-defense? Why did she kill her grandson? I'm very curious. Very, very curious to that. Hold on a minute. It's taking me a while to find this article. I can't find it. I've got so many articles. Oh, Lord have mercy. I may have to type it in because I can't find it. That's not my name. I don't know who you're speaking of, honey. Okay, I don't think I have that. Let me see. I'm gonna have to type it in because I don't have it. Hope everyone is well. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy March. Already spring on its way. Oh, that's from YouTube. Can't find it for some reason. I saw it in the YouTube queue. She's spoken. And I want to bring you all an update pertaining to what she said. I can't find it. One second, everybody. I thought I had this article already stored. I can't find it. This might be it right here. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. All right, this is an update to some information I brought you all last week during the live stream about the man who had the corpses at his house. 30 people were found on the property alongside a woman in a hearse, and the guy was being evicted. So during that live stream, I brought you this storyline here. Let's see. Whenever it loads up. Hold on, everybody. Very weird story.
at the home. When neighbors went inside, they found 9 people were malnourished inside the home. Corley Peel spoke with Morris today. She's joining us now live outside the home where the residents have now been removed. Corley.
Yeah, we're told that the people who live at the home have now either been with their families or getting treatment at medical centers. The board tells me that she wasn't running a boarding home here at this property. She says she rents rooms and helps people who need treatment or care for mental illness or are recovering from drug addiction. But this is the first time that we have learned that a group home has been shut down at this property. Signs of moving out are seen outside this home off New Village Lane. Samantha Morris doesn't live there, but was arrested on a charge for running a boarding house without a permit. We spoke with her on the phone.
I take care of people when, like, everybody in every family has someone that they can no longer deal with.
Justin Urich is a Fort Bend County fire marshal. He says investigators have been to the home in the past when it was owned by a different group home owner in 2022.
We had several meetings and inspections, and then ultimately they ended up closing and vacating the premises in October of 2022. We went back for a follow-up in late November to verify the home was still vacant, and in November of 2022 we closed it out as no longer an operating boarding home because it was not occupied for over 30 days.
So how did they reopen?
That's a contract between the operator and the property owners.
Morris says she rents the home from the landlord, then rents out the rooms to the tenants.
Nice.
A resident told me how much he pays in rent on Friday.
Well, I paid $950 out of my SSI check, and my dad spends about $200 to $300 out of pocket for me to stay here.
Investigators say several people were found to be malnourished inside the home. One woman was covered in fecal matter, and human waste was found throughout the home, according to deputies. Morris says some of the residents are bedridden.
Why wouldn't you want to just go ahead and get a permit for a group home? Like I told him, I'm interested in that. He told me, you looking on the computer. I said, no, I think what? I said, I got to learn about it first. I just started in this house. I just started this in this house. I've been taking care of people all my life.
Records show there are only 4 homes that have the boarding house permit here in Fort Bend County. I did reach out to who owns this home, but I have not heard back yet. Authorities are investigating whether or not there was neglect or abuse in that home. This is an ongoing investigation. Adult Protective Services is also involved in this case. Reporting live from Fort Bend County, Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
Well, my understanding, somebody who placed one of their relatives in the house said that they talked to somebody who recommended the place. So I was assuming that it was all legal and on the up and up because it was a battle of, was it a boarding house or people were sent here through their medical insurance to stay here. So I didn't know if it was for men or women or elderly or disabled individuals, mentally disabled. I wasn't really sure because I was getting a variant of commentary. So here we hear that she didn't stay there. Well, then who was running it? Who was operating? Who was feeding the people? How were you collecting the rent? You hear her say she wasn't qualified to run a group home. She inquired about it allegedly. Don't know if that's true. It was closed before in 2022. The officials went back to check to see who was running it, if it was open, closed, whatever. So this is strange. All this is strange. Let's go over the information. Deputies arrested Samantha Morris on Friday on a charge for operating a boarding house without a permit. Investigators said a neighbor called police about an aggressive dog at the home off of New Village Lane near a leaf. When deputies went inside, they found 9 people with obvious signs of neglect and possible injuries. Investigators said 5 of those residents were transported to the medical facilities for treatment. KPRC2 reporter Corley Peel spoke with Morris about her arrest. She said she was not running a boarding house. She said she was helping people struggling with drug addiction, mental health issues, domestic violence, and veterans have a place to stay. I take care of people. Every family has someone that they can no longer deal with, and most of the people come by word of mouth, and some have called me. Morris said she and 2 other employees helped provide services for the residents, including food, clothing, transportation. She said they would drive residents to medical facilities if needed. So who are those 2 people? Will they also be arrested and charged? Why was there fecal matter in the home? How did they find her? Was she on Facebook? How did she advertise? I'm curious. Justin Jurek is the Fort Bend County Fire Marshal. He said there are 4 homes in the county that have the boarding house permit. The home off of New Village Lane is not listed. Jurek said investigators have been to the home in the past when it was owned by a different group home owner in 2022. They had several meetings and inspections, as you heard in this commentary. Ultimately, they ended up closing and they vacated the premises in October 2022. We went back for a follow-up in late November to verify if the home was still vacant. November 2022, we closed it out as no longer an operating home because it was not occupied for 30 days. So then it reopened. So are the people who had it before, are they the people who opened it and used this lady? I don't know. She obviously was renting it from somebody, she said, and then she decided to take in the boarders, which is against a contract on a lease. You're not supposed to have sublets when you're renting from someone. So she said she does not rent the home, but she does rent from the landlord. She said she rents out the rooms to the tenants. Well, that's renting it out. See, this shows you she doesn't have any common sense. Moore said the homeowners is fine with the arrangement. I don't know if I believe that. Unless she had some type of deal with the landlord. But my thing is, if you start renting the rooms out and you're charging $1,100 or $1,200 for the rooms and the landlord's on board, then the landlord will possibly charge you a nice amount of money for you renting from him or her. One guy mentioned he pays $950. My dad spends about $200 to $300 out of pocket for me to stay here. You heard that one guy saying, he was a white guy. He said he pays $950 from his disability check. Investigators said a woman covered in human waste was found inside the house. Morris did not directly answer questions regarding the residents' conditions, but said some of the tenants were bedridden and required help when being changed. Corley asked Morris why she would not want to get the permit to a boarding house. She said, I'm interested in it. I know what I got to learn about it, but I just don't want it in this house. I've been taking care of people all my life. Well, why would you not want them in that house? So what is she trying to say? She just wants that house to be what? Just regular people living in it, but not licensed. So what is she saying? She wanted another house to be licensed? I don't understand that commentary. Authorities are investigating the alleged abuse and neglect in the home, but no other arrest or charges have been filed at this time. Adult Protective Services sent KPRC2 the below statement. Adult Protective Services investigating the unpermitted group home on New Village Lane alongside law enforcement. However, APS is not a regulatory agency, and we do not have the authority to license facilities or close illegal group homes. Families looking to place a loved one in a group home setting should review the following links to make sure the facility is permitted or licensed. So there are places you can go if you're curious. Boarding Home, Harris County, Texas. HPD Boarding Homes Mental Health Division. Approved Boarding Homes List.pdf. Fort Bend County, Texas Government, and Long-Term Care, Texas Health and Human Services. Let's go over here to see what this nonsense is. I thought they showed her talking just a little while ago. Hold on. This is crazy.
Village Lane near Town West Boulevard.
KPRC2's Corley Peel live there tonight. And Corley, the conditions investigators are describing are so disturbing.
I think I played this already.
Yeah, neighbors tell me this started last night when they reported a large dog coming from this home that was being aggressive and barking at them. I did speak with people who live inside this home. We saw many of them coming and going this afternoon. They say a lot of the people suffer from mental health issues and addiction, but neighbors tell me this home has been an issue for years.
For years.
Get away!
This video of a large dog rushing towards a neighbor is what prompted her to call 911 this morning.
They have a big German Shepherd that is always out
attacking us.
Surveillance video showed Fort Bend County deputies outside the house that's known as a group home. Once inside, deputies say they found a woman who was nonverbal and malnourished, covered in fecal matter. Investigators say they found other patients inside who also appeared malnourished. Video shows someone being handcuffed outside and placed in a patrol car. Investigators say the owner and operator of the group home, Samantha Morris, was arrested for operating a boarding house without a permit. Have you seen police over there before besides yesterday and today?
All the time. All the time. They would fight. The patients would fight in the street.
Neighbors say they've been reporting the home to police and the HOA for years.
I knew something was off next door because there was lots of heavy traffic. And I call them patients. I'm not sure if that's what they are. But mentally, they did not all look there. And one of them would always ask me and my son for like money. They would come up to my car for $1, $2. Just lots of suspicious activity.
Another neighbor shared this video of the large dog on her property. She spoke to us in Spanish, saying people from the home have thrown items at her windows and asked for money. Justin McClure lives in the home. He says about 10 people live there, and many struggle with mental illness or are recovering from drug addiction.
I'm just mentally disabled. I stay here. I've been staying here for about almost 2 months now. And I don't know, we get taken good care of over here. It's just manager was over there wanted to take a little break for a day and just came over here and, you know.
Makes no sense what he's saying.
And investigators say the woman that was found malnourished and nonverbal was transported to the hospital. I asked neighbors about her. They didn't comment much about her. They didn't say they really knew her or knew about her condition, but this is an ongoing investigation, and we will keep you updated as we learn more. Reporting live from Fort Bend County, Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
Horrible situation there, Corley. Thank you for your story.
All right. I was trying to find the earlier story where she spoke. What I understand is she says she doesn't want that place to be the group home license. So that makes no sense. I don't really understand what she's trying to say. And then you hear this guy saying the manager took a break. So who was in the house when the police showed up? The fact that they had problems there before. You got neighbors speaking through the doorbell camera, which is strange. Why the lady wouldn't open the door and speak to the reporter? That was strange. You heard her speaking here. Problems with a dog barking, going on people's properties. Years of problems. That's probably when it was the other group home. So the people who owned it before, could that possibly be the person who's renting to this black lady? People, because something's suspect about that. Think about what I'm saying. What are the odds that the people who originally owned the home, the group home, got it shut down, fire marshal, whomever, officials come back to inspect, nobody's living there, then 30 days later, this black lady is in there with some other guys or people? That just seems suspicious to me. You hear the lady saying in the commentary, she has an arrangement with the landlord. They're on board with her renting the rooms out. I don't know anybody that would be on board with you renting their rooms out in their house, because it's about money. So if I'm charging you, let's say $1,100, $1,500 to stay in the house, you're subletting it out for at least $1,100, $1,200 per person times 10. That's over $12,000 or so that you're getting, and you're only paying the person that you're renting from maybe $1,100 total. So you're jacking up 11 plus thousand free money in your pocket to house these people. I think the person who had the group home before is the same person that owns the house now, and they got this lady, got in cahoots with her, and used her to allegedly orchestrate and rent out the rooms. That's what I think. Because what are the odds a group home was in the place, and then it's closed out of the blue, and then another person comes in to run a group home. That sounds too suspicious to me. I'm trying to get this lady's commentary. They showed over here where she was speaking, and now I can't find it. Investigates. Let me see. I'm trying to find this where she was talking. They showed it. Very weird. They keep showing the same people. What I find interesting, where were the other people at that were supposed to be in there taking care of the people? Fecal matter and all that, that means they've left those people there, not changed them, not bathed them. She said it wasn't a group home, it was like a boarding place. All this is suspicious, this craziness. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, honey. I'm trying to find this content, you guys. I want to see where she was talking. Let me do the investigates. They might come up with her talking. Hold on one second. There's always drama going out of Texas. There's always abuse of children, always whack stories. So it's always something. I don't know how to find it on here. Let me see if they got a search engine. I don't see it. Click to. Hold on one second, everybody. Very strange. He's pulling up the same article. They talked to her on the phone, but there was another article that showed her speaking down here in this corner, and they was playing it while I was reading. I wanted you all to hear this lady speak. This is just some weird stuff. Hold on, everybody. I'm trying to see where's this lady.
Or getting treatment at medical centers. The board tells me that she wasn't running a boarding home here at this property. She says she rents rooms and helps people who need treatment or care for mental.
I'm trying to find the one where she was standing outside talking. I can't find that one. Well, I'll have to do it another day because like for some reason I can't find it. But I'm going to check out of here because I'm almost at 3 hours. This is a 4-part live. Trinity Clark, Knoxville, Tennessee, rearrested. She and a guy were drag racing last year on Magnolia Avenue, and a man was killed and some children were injured. Well, she was rearrested over a week ago over near the University of Tennessee, going down a one-way street. So what's the problem there? She needs to be on an ankle monitor, And she also needs to have a breathalyzer put in her car because I won't doubt she probably is over there drinking and doing God knows what. She doesn't need to be free running around, walking around. Revoked license, suspended license, doesn't matter. She doesn't need to be driving, period, because I got a feeling she's going to end up hurting somebody else. She doesn't have any empathy. She doesn't care. She won a lawsuit by the city of Knoxville for being manhandled by a cop who was trying to pull her over. He approached her at a home that she was at. She won a lawsuit from the city. And then later we hear this crazy story last year of her unaliving someone during a car crash, drag racing down Magnolia. Part 2 of this live is pertaining to the abortion pill now being administered at CVS and Walgreens in certain cities. You can purchase the after morning pill. How do you feel about that? Puff Diddy, allegations from a Mr. Rod Jones of sexual improprieties, being drugged, owing him money for publishing rights. He also implicates his son in seeking out young women and girls underage for sex parties, so on and so forth. 5 people total now bringing forward allegations of improprieties by Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. Do you believe the allegations? Will he pay out more money? Who else is going to come forward to say they have been inappropriately touched, drugged, coerced into sex parties, sex engagement with men, women, whomever? Is he gay? What's the problem? If you are, just tell the truth and be done with it. Last part of this live is pertaining to Marcellus Blackwell, 34-year-old ex-cop from the Midwest, accused of groping men while detaining them in his custody. He has a 36-count indictment against him for inappropriately touching men while in the custody of a police squad car and or arresting the men. Also accused of falsifying police reports. Was he stalking men? Was he profiling men of his choice to then go up to them and pretend they've committed a crime, arrest them, and then grope them? How many more people has he done this to? Has he sexually assaulted any other men or women or children while an officer on duty or off? That's the said commentary. And the last commentary is pertaining to this African-American female coming out of Fort Bend, Texas. She's been accused of running an illegal boarding house. She denies any improprieties against these people. They have been removed from the home. It was formerly a group home, and then it was shut down, and then she came in and rented the house from a certain person, and she's saying that the person who she rented from was on board with her subletting the rooms, but the people were malnourished, not fed. One lady was nonverbal. What's the truth? I got a feeling they're all in cahoots, because there's no way she came in to rent out rooms in a house that was formerly a group home, basically doing the same thing, and she's not in cahoots with the former owner. I think the former owner is the same person, and somehow they got in cahoots with this lady to rent out the rooms. That's probably why she said, oh, they knew what I was doing. This took place on New Village Lane in Texas. It's a very odd story. Very, very odd story. Fort Bend County. For those of you who are curious to the information, Samantha Moore, she's a Black female. I believe she's 51 years of age. She denies any wrongdoing to these individuals. Starvation, malnourished. Woman had fecal matter all over her. Allegedly, she was helping people with drug addiction, mental health issues, domestic violence, and veterans, giving them a place to stay. Over $1,000 a month to stay in a place. And you hear this one guy saying, oh, the manager just needed a break. Yeah, she left you alone to fend for yourself. You have neighbors saying they were all over the place, running around, causing problems, barking, German Shepherd all the time, begging for money, fighting in the streets. And this is possibly when the home was open before in 2022. This is a very wicked story. So it got closed in November 2022, then reopened 30 days later. One guy paying $950, father helping out with $200 to $300 out of pocket to help the son in this deplorable place. All the men and people are gone now. So obviously it's closed. I'll bring you an update pertaining to that information. Yeah, she said she was just helping people out to give them a place to stay. She said it was not a group home for men. So thank you, RJ. Thank you, honey. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for listening. Yeah. Very sad. Yes, it's very heartbreaking because I think she's in cahoots with the people who originally owned it and it got shut down. Because like I said, what are the odds? Home shut down November 22, and then you come in and open it up, rent the house from some mysterious person, and then you start letting people come in. And then I don't think anybody stayed there. I think the people just went in, stayed in their rooms, fended for themselves. Nobody was really taking care of them because allegedly 2 other people were supposed to be working. So where are they? Weren't they arrested? They only arrested this one black lady, Samantha Morris. Why were the other workers not arrested? See, that's strange to me. I think the owner of the house is complicit to running it. They're using her, perhaps, because she says she don't own the house. She just rents it. But then she's still downplaying her role, like, oh, I wasn't renting to people. But you are renting. You just said I rent the rooms out. So that's renting. This is a wicked story. I'll bring an update. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy March, everybody. And once again, if you'd like to donate to this great network, $BeganG1 tonight. Cash App, stickers, and chat to welcome to the live stream. Very winded live. Sorry it took so long, but I had all these stories I wanted to get out and bring you an update. I'll be back on the case with Wendy Williams, Puff Diddy. This story I'll bring to you. We're also going to talk about abortion rights and the abortion pill Monday. We're going to chop that up. You give me your opinion, what you think about this morning after pill. Should it be legal? Should we go back to having abortion rights in all 50 states? How do you feel about it being disbanded in states? Roe versus Wade. Is it unaliving of a child, or it's my right, woman's right to abort a fetus? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much. You have been listening to the Vault XL. Talk to you guys later. Bye.